Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, the storm is coming! Batten down the hatches. Get your eggs, get your milk, get your water. And as Rozan likes to say, get your snackies. We're going to gain weight this week. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Rozan is going to be leaving me this weekend. Let me get her up here on the Tron here. Hello, my dear. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm going to miss you.
I set you up with a Tovala. You know how to work it now. You don't just talk to it. You have to, push the buttons.
You're very excited for me to be at home trying to cook for myself. That's why
I think it's going to be fun.
You bought me a state-of-the-art cooker of some sort. I guess a toaster oven of sorts.
Yes.
That you actually just put the meal in, and then you scan something for the meal, and the toaster oven takes that information and cooks it for the right amount of time.
Yeah,
it cooks it to perfection and then stops cooking it at the right time, so I don't have to keep watching it. It's just sort of put it in and go.
It is Reese-proof.
Reese-proof.
Yeah.
Right, so I don't have to
think. You do have to read. There's about 4 steps involved.
I did it last night. It's easy enough.
I had to watch you very closely and clean up all the
You
blood.
almost stopped me from doing it and said, I'll just do it myself.
No.
And I said, no, let me learn so I can do it.
Okay, listen.
It's as simple. It's almost like a microwave, which I'm used to. And you won't let me use that anymore. We haven't had a microwave now in what? 3 years?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, roughly 3 years.
It's kind of like watching you with trying to make dinner last night it was like watching a 3-year-old trying to wash dishes. you see, ugh.
Am I doing it right, Mama?
Literally. What do I do next? I don't know. Read the thing. Okay, well, it says... But I think the thing that really bothered me the most was how you managed to get blood everywhere.
Okay, please explain the blood thing so people are not thinking there's carnage happening. So the meal last night that we chose was string beans with almonds and butter, and I guess the meat was filet mignon.
Yes, a filet mignon.
Filet mignon, as the ghetto girl said. Anyway, so when you say the blood, you have to open up the package.
It is a vacuum-sealed package. And I told you, I said, I need you to do this in the sink because it gets very messy.
Right.
Which you sort of did. And I'm not sure how you got blood on this counter and that counter and over there.
It was a messy thing. These things are... is the term hermetically sealed? It's incredibly sealed.
It's vacuum sealed.
Vacuum sealed. But it's absolutely impossible to open up without a scissor.
That's what the scissors are for.
Yeah, which, again, I'm opening it up and I'm figured I just only have to open up a little seam and then I pop it open. But no, you have to cut the whole thing open because it's meat and it has to be 100% sealed.
Right.
Anyway, whatever the case is. So, yeah, I'm going to be okay. I promise you I'll be fine.
I'm more worried about coming home and you've got E. coli or salmonella.
No. I'm telling you, if worse comes to worse and I can't figure out that oven, you're going to find me passed out in the living room on the couch with a bag of what do you call it, pretzels and a bag of bagels from between rounds, which will always sustain me.
I'm going to get a call from Roland. Hey, have you heard from Reese at all? What's going on? And he hasn't shut up to work. I come home and you're passed out on the floor twitching because you're starving to death.
Fine. I'll be fine. It's like you have no faith in me.
Well, I will tell you that Adam 12's wife, Jen, she did tell me that if you need anything while I'm gone...
That I can reach out to them? What, will they cook meals for me? Is that what you're saying?
I'm sure that she would take pity on your poor, pathetic soul, yes.
Make me drive all the way to their house so they can feed me?
It's either that or you die.
Adam, It ain't that bad. Jen, it's not that bad. I promise I'll be okay.
He's probably going to have to bring laundry because he doesn't know how to work the washing machine either.
This is true. That washing machine, you know what? I will look it up. That's what we have the internet for. Anyway, most importantly, you went out today in the field by yourself. You've gone out with me. You've actually done this by yourself because you started going out, well, when we did the Hartford protest at the ICE building. You were there before me, and you got, of course, the famous footage that we have now. This has thousands of views online.
Tens of views.
Thousands of views online, which actually dispelled this rumor that was going around by Mayor Arunin that there was a hit and run involving ICE and one of the protesters. You had the exclusive video. No one had an angle. No one had, even the media did not have, that we may have provided to them that disproves this hit and run theory.
Was a load of cockamamie.
Yes, so you get out there and you do that. So not that you haven't done this before, but today we sent you out.
I went all by myself.
Yes.
I had to find the place. I had to find parking all alone. I'd open my own car door. Do you guys know how hard that is to open your own car door when you've been spoiled and having somebody else do it for you?
So you get there. Betsy McCoy is there to do a press conference.
Super sweet.
She went there to do a press conference. It turned into, you would think, weirdly enough, that she was announcing her run for governor on this day because of the questions that were asked. You sent me a video of it, of that exchange that they had. They had a couple of old school reporters there, mostly male, asking her questions. All men.
It was all men.
All men. No women there.
There was me and a couple of female spectators, but
all the reporters were male.
All these very, what do you call it, establishment white men.
Okay.
They had the patches on the elbows and the silver goatees and the glasses and the.
They look like they've been on the flat-footed in the press rooms like since the days of
They were. I'm gonna have to say it. They were very pompous and arrogant. They were entitled to be there, and I mean, just.
You said something about this because we're going to get to her announcement in a second. For those of you who haven't heard yet, and I'm sure the news media is going to cover it and a press release has been sent out. But you said that what you noticed about the way in which people were talking to Betsy McCoy. Describe it to them.
I am doing my darndest to stop looking at everything through my previous liberal lens, right? Like I still have some liberal tendencies. I'm working through them in therapy. But what really bothered me was that these men, every time she would say something, it really came across like a bunch of men looking at a little girl showing off her tea set. It was kind of offensive the way they were just very dismissive of, but how are you even going to do that?
You felt like they didn't really take her seriously.
I felt they didn't take her serious at all, no. And it really upset me. I managed to keep myself composed, but I got to... I really wanted to walk over there and smack her in the back of the head.
Well, let me tell you something.
This is a serious woman with, like, some clout. Like, she knows what she's doing. She was an AG in New York. She's not some cute little blonde bimbo that's just, oh, my God. No, she knows what she's doing, and they just didn't treat her that way.
And it's true in this regard. So I'm just going to take from what you just said that you are openly admitting that you may have had a degree of bias
Absolutely.
Here. And thank you for doing that because there's not a lot of people in this business who are willing to do that. Not that you're really in this business. Right now you are getting your feet wet.
I'm having
in
fun.
It, and you're having fun.
Yeah.
But you were open and honest and said that you were coming at this from your own little kind of feminist lens that you felt with all of these men in there. They seem very dismissive of this woman. But I'm not going to say you're 100% wrong here because here's why. It's not like you don't know the resume of Betsy McCoy.
Right.
This woman is a former lieutenant governor from a successful
lieutenant
governor from a successful campaign that she then addresses here, which is impressive because one of the reporters, as I watched the video that you sent me, one of the reporters who's really like the loudest in the room makes this claim about Governor Lamont being an incumbent governor and a popular incumbent at that. What makes you think that you can beat him? Now, first of all, if you're you're a good reporter, you would have known Betsy's response to that was waiting in the wings because she even told him, I know what questions you're going to ask, and I'm so happy to answer it.
She is a superstar.
And she responded by saying, that's the same thing they said about Pataki myself against Mario Cuomo. He's got to.
We whooped him.
And we whooped him.
Yeah.
So the reporters should know better.
They didn't take her serious. It was very evident in the way that they asked questions. And, I mean, if you watch the video where he asks about, or the other one asked, well, this has been done before. We've been here for 30 years. We've seen this stuff. So what makes you different?
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at this, like, there probably could have been a more professional, less asinine way to ask that question.
No, but again, no. See, and this is, I know you're getting your feet wet. And I've got to walk you through this in how you understand the question from the reporter. What you just described is emblematic of what Connecticut has become with its news media.
Right.
It has become very comfortable and complacent with the way that things are. They are not used to anyone coming in and kicking in the doors. They're almost surprised by it.
Right.
They don't what are you doing? That's not how it's done.
Right. Did you get the script? You didn't get the script.
Exactly.
It's not how we do things here.
Exactly.
The media is almost, these pompous windbags are almost sitting in there like they are entitled to the answers that they think they deserve, but they also come across as almost placeholders for the politicians themselves.
Gatekeepers. That's who they are.
Gatekeepers, sure. But I mean, to me, it felt more like excuse me, Lamont's team is here. Can you please step back?
Yeah.
That's literally how it felt. It wasn't just gatekeeping. This was, we're here. You know, this is who we are. This is who Connecticut is. Connecticut is Ned Lamont. We are his fingers and his toes outside of his physical presence. So please act accordingly. That's the arrogance with which they came to this, and that's how they treated Betsy.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that she didn't. Well, she's been through this enough. She's been in the media a long time, so she knows these people. Right. She knows exactly the animals in which she has to tame, so to speak. She handled
herself so. I was so proud. I was like, man, I want to be just like Betsy when I grow up. Like, she didn't take any guff. She wasn't snarky. She wasn't snipey. She just answered.
Her energy is always the same. She approaches every interview the same way she does. It doesn't matter what lean you are.
She's confident. She's impactful. You are not going to take her off of her message. And she's positive. I think that's another great thing is like she comes across and she brings a very positive energy. Everything around her, you can just feel it almost radiating just positivity and light.
So let's get to her announcement, which... Did you get the whole crux of what her announcement is?
I got the whole thing on video.
All right. Yeah. So tell me what her big announcement was and how it was received by the media. What was
her big announcement? Betsy McCoy's announcement is when she's elected governor, she is going to eliminate over the next 5 years the income tax. And then she lays out how it's been done in other states and seeing how those states are improving in their revenue. The more the revenue goes up, the lower the income tax goes down. And the lower the income tax, the more likely people are to spend money. The more money you spend, of course, you start to see the local economy growing.
Right. Now, because people have more of a sort of disposable income is what I've always called it.
Well, she I can't remember who she quoted. If you want more of something, tax it less. Mm-hmm. If you want less of it, tax it more.
Yeah.
So if you want more revenue, less taxes, right?
That's right.
You smoke, like there's a high tax on cigarettes in an attempt to deter people from smoking.
That's right.
Right? You tax people higher when they make more money. Nobody wants to go to work. That's why you got so many freeloaders on welfare.
That's right.
Right? There's no taxes on welfare, but normal people with a good paying job, you're taxing them to death. Not only that, you're seeing businesses leaving Connecticut. You are seeing people leaving Connecticut in droves. Like, nobody wants to be here. And then you've got, Ned Lamont saying, well, you know what, businesses, come to Connecticut. We'll make sure you can have an abortion while you're here.
So wild.
So if you have to choose between the guy who's offering free abortions for your business or the woman who's saying, listen, we're not going to charge you an income tax. When you bring your business here, your employees aren't going to be paid an income tax, which in the essence saves in overhead in the long run. But then again, like you said, there's the revenue, the money that's coming back into the community, and it recycles through the community. It goes back into whatever that industry is, which, I mean, it's a win-win. Or you can just have an abortion while you're here. I mean.
So how was that received? I know that you told me on the drive back over here that a lot of the reporters appeared very naysay, right?
Yes.
There was no, it was a lot of how will that work kind of deal.
There was the question, this has been done before, and they named some other politicians. We've been here for 30 years. It's been done before. You'll remember this guy and that guy. And how do you intend to do this? Well, over the course of the next 5 years, and she explained, once the revenues go up, then income tax comes down. Wow, I'm drawing a total blank right now.
It's okay. That's all right. There's a lot to take in on your sort of first assignment, first real assignment on your own. But I wanted to get from you, because I already knew what Betsy was going to do. She told us yesterday, or at least she told me what it was going to be, and that was, in essence, removal of the income tax over the next 5 years. In essence, continue to lower the income tax to keep people here.
One of the questions asked was, does that mean you're going to raise sales tax or property tax? And she's like, listen, just because you get rid of one doesn't mean you have to raise the other. Mm-hmm. The goal is that in reducing one and the increase in revenue, hopefully eventually you're able to see the other ones come down as well. There are other states that are doing it. So.
Right. And it's not like, and again, this is what I say about the poor reporting here. Every one of those reporters, if they're not in their own little silo or in their own, ideological bubble, they know that this has been successful in other states.
Right.
It's the reason why Connecticut loses business and people to said states.
Well, Connecticut is 48th. That was the other thing. Connecticut is 48th in economic growth, but you had this one Paul Hughes from the Hearst. He's like, the GDP is actually higher. It's up by 4.5%. And last quarter, it was up by whatever. And she's like, well, that's not actually what we're seeing in reality happening here in Connecticut. So she really goes into that as well, a little bit more. But that was sort of the point that he was trying to make was, you're giving us bad information. And Betsy said, actually, you have bad information in comparison to what's happening in the rest of the country. So.
Yeah. So she knows her stuff, but, I think that these guys are under the impression. I think it was more about them getting a sort of a
soundbite.
A soundbite, exactly, as opposed to doing the right thing. Well, that's okay. That goes with the territory. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. We'll talk more with Rozan right here on Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
All right, Reese and Rozan, it's Reese on the Radio. We are here talking about Betsy McCoy's announcement today at City Hall in Hartford. She actually lays out some of the states here that already have no income tax. And it's interesting because if you go through that list that comes out every year that U-Haul puts out about all the states that are where people are moving to, or not for that matter, Connecticut always ranks incredibly low. We're somewhere, I think now we're like, I think we dropped one spot, and we're somewhere in like 40 out of 50 states.
So people are fleeing Connecticut, and we ran toward Connecticut.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Yeah, well, that's the job.
Right.
You know how the news organizations make Trey Yinks go into Beirut or go into Israel when it's war-torn. It's like any other time he's sitting in Sheboygan. And then another time they're just like, hey, Trey, there's a war going on in Gaza. Pack your bags. That's us. That's us.
We're too next.
Hey,
Ooh,
exactly.
Minneapolis.
Hey, there's a place where the tax revenue is through the roof and property prices are rent rates are through the roof. We're sending you.
We haven't even talked about the electricity rates.
Oh
yet,
yeah,
so.
exactly. Which is actually, I'm glad that you got us a place with a fixed.
Girl.
Whew, that was really, really smart. Anyway, back to Betsy McCoy. Here are some of the states that she lays out that have flat or zero income tax, and she also lays out which ones have flat taxes. So, of course, it's Alaska, Nevada, and I'm going west to east. Alaska, Nevada, Wyoming, South Dakota, Texas, Tennessee, Florida, and, believe it or not, New Hampshire, just north of us.
We're moving to New Hampshire.
No, you want to really bad, too. With a flat tax going from west to the East Coast, Washington, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, Colorado, Mississippi, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and that's it. everywhere else has a graduated income tax. And of course, that includes Connecticut. And what she is saying is that we can, over the next 5 years, continue to lower it. You know, it's not going to be one of those things where we just eliminate it day one.
Right.
But the objective is to continue to lower it over and over again until we can eliminate it.
Right.
Therefore, we attract businesses. That's the most important part, because taxes are always the reason why people leave.
Yep.
And here we have a governor who does not, as Betsy made clear on the show yesterday, a governor who does not understand how businesses work. Right. And it's evident in the fact that businesses are, and every person keeps saying that to him, which begs one question. And this is the part that I'm going to say to all of you. And I know the answer you're going to give me, so I know it's somewhat rhetorical. Lamont has been governing over the last 2 years, I can say, constantly talking about how we can help struggling families. That has been his focus.
By giving them abortions. Oh,
no,
sorry.
No.
Something else.
In anything and everything, it's always about how we can spend money on the neediest.
Right.
What he never addresses, again, he's always responding to his bad governance. What I mean by that is it gets worse over and over again, and he keeps talking about how he's going to solve the problem that he's making worse.
He's like that kid who, when you're a kid, right, and in kindergarten, you get that, you have to color inside the lines, right? You're coloring a thing, and you want it to be pink, but you're like, oh, crap, I accidentally grabbed red, right? So he's got the red crayon, and he's like, okay, well, let me try white. No, the white one didn't work. Let's try pink over that. No, it didn't work. Well, you know what? Let's do black. Like, it doesn't, he's making a bigger mess when really, Mr. Lamont, sit down.
It has to.
Just sit down. Ask a grown-up for help. It's okay. Ask a grown-up for help.
That's the part that, again, makes it worse. Can I play something while you were out there? Governor Lamont had a press conference.
It should be fun.
And he was, of course, asked by reporters, thank you, reporters, for asking him, about Doug McCrory and about the fraud that Senator Doug McCrory, is entangled in. Now, you can't, if you're watching at ReeseOnTheRadio.com, if you're watching on YouTube or on X, you are going to be able to see what I am seeing. You may not be able to hear it, so I have to do the obvious thing. I have to lead the witness. I'm sorry, it is not good business for me. I tell people this all the time. I don't like to lead the witness. It's almost like saying a word before the song is played.
Or
says,
when I'm talking to you and you're mouthing the
no,
words.
No. Listen, when the song is being played and you tell people what they're going to hear in the song and they immediately hear it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You hear what you're reading.
Yes, exactly. Or if I say, Jimi Hendrix is really saying, excuse me while I kiss this guy, every time you hear it, you'll think that's what he said.
It's Tony Danza.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Hold me closer, Tony Danza.
Right, exactly. So I know that leading the witness is what's going to happen here. But I want you to hear it anyway. Here is Ned Lamont at his presser talking about Doug McCrory. Please pay close attention to the pause and the answer.
Did you reiterate your stance Wednesday to any Senate leaders about having him step back?
I did. What did you say to them? Look, it's their call. The Senate, keeps an eye on things. I thought it was important that he step back, but let's let the chips fall where they may. People may have some reasons they're doing what they're doing. Let's see what happens.
Do you expect to endorse an opponent to him in his race?
But if you didn't catch that, the reporter asked him, do you expect to endorse him in his race? Because Senator Doug McCrory is up for re-election in November. So he is asking Lamont, do you expect to endorse him for his race? Here's Lamont.
Probably not. I'm going to probably stay out of it, but I haven't thought that far ahead.
Which is it? He said, probably not.
Probably.
Probably
not.
Not an emphatic no. You want to know why? Because Lamont's waiting to see if McCrory gets an overwhelming of support. He'll wait until the last minute and say, yes, he has my support. He's trying to see whether or not the wind is going to blow over on this thing. That's all. That's the reason why.
I think he can do his job effectively with all these investigations going on.
Well, he does, and the Senate leadership does.
No one asked if the Senate leadership does. Do you think? Well, he does. Of course, Doug McCrory does.
That's not what I asked, sir. That's not what I asked.
But I've made my case. I mean, I feel very strongly. I come down like a ton of bricks on.
Now, I'm the governor. Now, hold on. This is important, folks. I'm the governor. He says, I came down like a ton of bricks on this guy. And you know what the legislature said? Do you know what? You're the leader of the Democrat Party. The governor, the leader of the Democrat Party, the guy who's running for re-election, came down on you like a ton of bricks and said that this cannot happen. And the legislature, the Democrat Party looked up at you and said, yeah, so what?
You know what it sounds like to me?
What?
Don't.
Oh, goodness gracious. Don't do that. I don't even want to go in that direction.
Don't.
Hold on. Here we go.
Any signs of corruption. And I'm not jumping to any conclusions, but I want everybody in the legislature to take it just as seriously, especially when it comes to these legislative earmarks.
Is that difficult for the party, though? I mean, for other Democrats? When you have someone like that who's being investigated who won't step aside or at least give up his leadership?
It's not Democrats or Republicans. There have been Republican state senators who do themselves. I don't see them stepping aside either.
Well, you heard that. He said now the criteria is we've had some Republicans that do some stuff and they haven't stepped aside either.
So Jimmy jumps off the bridge and I'm going to jump off the bridge too.
This isn't leadership, folks. This is not leadership. This is like a 5-year-old defending stealing a cookie. I'm sorry. This is, if you listen to this show long enough, what have I always said? It's like getting caught with a cookie and you immediately saying, but Timmy took one too. This is an infantile defense.
Do you remember when did your mom ever say that to you when you were a kid? You're like, you can't do that. Yeah, but Jamie gets to do it. When Jamie jumps off a bridge, you gonna jump too. And
exactly.
You're like, well,
exactly. This is a man in his 70s and a governor. And this was also the same reminder. Now I'm going to remind everybody. This is the same response he gave when he was being questioned about the mail-in ballot scandal with Wanda Pataki. He immediately said, when he turned around and said, well, Donald Trump always complains about, what does Trump have to do with it?
Don't.
Well, when it comes to me as governor of the state and as a leader in the Democratic Party, I think he should be really tough when it comes to potential corruption.
Yes, so lead by example, right? Don't make it about whether or not Republicans have done it. In fact, give the Republicans no excuse.
Well, we have this saying in the military, right? Lead from the front.
Yes, that's right.
You lead from the front. You will find on the most austere of cases, right? Let's call it Christmas in Afghanistan. You will find everybody from a 4-star general all the way down to a butter bar is standing in the dining facility serving food to the lowest private all the way up to the next highest ranking NCO. That is leadership from the front. You will never see a good leader demanding you do something without doing it themselves or having done it themselves. And this guy is very clearly showing, listen, my mommy does all my stuff and my mommy's not here right now, so just don't.
Hold on, let's finish.
Talking about being tough on Doug McCrory, how about your team at DECD? They were signing these checks. Have you asked questions to them about how this happened?
Yeah, there's some other people who signed up for the checks. Hey, Lamont, again, he asked, did you say anything to them? Did you reprimand anybody? They signed off on this. Listen to the pause.
Yeah, they've doubled down on the audit. They're the ones that found this out. The audit you're referring to is what they've done, and we're going to add on additional staff to make sure that we can track each and every one of these so-called earmarks.
That's right, because the staff that you had couldn't do the job that they were assigned to do. So you know what? We're going to hire more people. We're going to have more people here because clearly the people I have are so inept that I got to hire more people to
It takes two people to verify each check, and that's what he needs. If he's not raising taxes, he's hiring more bureaucrats to do the BS work that he doesn't understand. He doesn't know what this means.
Hold on.
Make sure they go to somebody who's qualified. Make sure we follow the money. Make sure it's going to people that deserve it.
You stand behind your team, your deputy commissioners, everyone you've appointed at DEC. There's not going to be any personnel changes as a result of this?
Which there should be. Show some accountability. Show that you have some backbone. Show that when somebody does something screwed up, that someone pays for it. But we have seen countless times after countless times where Lamont has been caught in the middle of something and no one. There has been, and again, worst off, I'll tell you why. Because Lamont knows that it'll be a headline today and forgotten about 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
That's the reason why no one will ever be held accountable, because everything that you guys are making it sound like you're right on top of, we know tomorrow, hey, a squirrel ran across the street. Yeah.
Attacked a person.
And attacked a person. News at 11.
They found it very troubling that they would.
I love the way they followed up on this thing. They jumped on it. They were the ones that got in front of this thing. They're the ones that did the audit. And we're talking about what they've done to make sure this is less likely to happen again.
It's like saying after they've spilled the milk, they were the ones who jumped right on it and they cleaned the milk up. You know, it stunk up the floor for a little while and things were sticky and people were slipping and sliding all over the place. But you know what? They noticed the milk on the floor. And I'm so glad that, and I'm very, very proud of them for cleaning it up months, if not years later. But they finally got cleaned up.
Right, but it's the cup. We have to change the cup.
Yes, that's right.
It's not the milk. It's not the person.
Exactly. We need a bigger cup.
It's the cup.
Right. It's not even the milk.
No.
It's just, it needs a bigger cup.
We need more cups.
Now we need help from the legislature in terms of tightening up our processes in terms of some of these earmarks.
The fact that they weren't told 5 months after the wire transfer happened, that's
not a good sign. Thanks, everybody.
The fact, can you believe it? The fact, she says to them, the fact that they weren't told for 5 months, we're like, yeah, that's not a good sign. Thanks, everybody. How am I supposed to take it EDP?
I don't even know what to say to that. Like that, what does that have to do with anything?
Now,
That's
again,
not a good sign.
Now,
crap.
Now, this is my point, folks. Oh, darn it. It's 2 minutes in. I didn't even realize it. Guys, we got to take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views, talking about this when we return. It's Reese on the radio.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. Good one, Rama. Rama gave me another Doobie Brothers reference in songs that you mishear, and he has that line, the white man has the power. He says from, you don't know that song. When I'll play it for you during the break, you'll know. Okay. You'll know the song immediately when you hear it.
Okay.
I keep forgetting that you never remember a lot of songs from
your era,
the olden days.
Ye olden times.
Ye olden times. Yeah, exactly. You don't remember any of those. Okay, coming up on the program, also, folks, Rozan will not be with us next Friday. She will be in Virginia.
Probably snowed in.
Yeah, probably snowed in. She's going to go visit the boy and visit some of her girlfriends and hang out. So I will be alone here all weekend. That means that I'll be partying it up like it's 1998. It'll be a snowstorm. Mm-hmm. In 1998 in Buffalo, there was a huge snowstorm. That's the reference. So I will be snowed in, cooking Tovella meals and sitting on Tovala. I don't know there. I don't know. I just know that I'll be there. Michael B., Craig in the car, and of course Lori. All the scallywags are in the chat room today. You can join us by going to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. You can follow us on X and be in the chat room, or you could be on YouTube or directly at ReeseOnTheRadio.com, which Thomas is as well. He typed cafe. I'm not sure exactly what that meant, but whatever. We are today going to talk about, it is the anniversary of Roe v. Wade.
Oh, okay.
I did not know that.
Nor did I.
Because Roe v. Wade is not a thing anymore. And even though states like Connecticut still honor abortion, which is, again, the reason why Roe v. Wade was overturned so that it could return to the states, I'm not sure why everybody's moaning about it. But I would like to do a monologue that I've never been able to do on WTIC as it relates to Roe v. Wade. And, of course, as it relates to the argument of a woman's so-called reproductive rights, which I will do in the next break. So stand by for that. Also today on the program, I want to talk about Hartford's joining Hartford and Connecticut writ large, of how they're growing in numbers to leave public schools. We only talked about it a little bit yesterday. I want to get into a lot of that today. Also, I've got new poll numbers from Harry Enton and an interesting thing that I've just found out about Harry Enton and those poll numbers. Let me tell you what that is now. So if you're a social media person, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you're not, and I know a lot of you are, and you're listening in your car, you're listening on a transistor radio, I just want to explain to you why this. No, they listen to transistor radio. That's not a joke. I'm being serious. Rozan is laughing at me. But you don't know this, but let me explain to you how this thing works. So Harry Enton has his own X page where things that he shares on X about his broadcasts on CNN, on poll numbers, are his own. So he'll do a segment with John Berman, and he will post it. Then there are others who will post segments that Harry Enton does on their own feed. And when I was looking at the posts that come in, it's very odd about what Harry Enton shares. Today's post is a prime example of that. Let me tell you what I mean. So when he is talking about Donald Trump's numbers being underwater, Harry Enton posts it every time on his X feed or his Facebook feed. He plays it. And then he'll give some very daunting news on there, being fair, on CNN about Democrats' numbers and their polling data. And theirs are abysmal.
It's sad, yeah.
But when you go to his X file, they're never there. He doesn't post them, which is why I'll give you the example later on. And that's the point. He doesn't want it being shown because he's a partisan hack. But that's also the reason why I show his polls, because I want the left to know that this guy, the partisan hack who's rooting for Democrats, is hiding the numbers from them. But we'll get to that shortly. John Silva, he is in the newsroom. He will get you all your latest news and headlines. We'll return after that, right here on Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Reese on the Radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're back. Reese on the Radio, Rozan on radio, here live on WTIC News Talk 1080. I'm going to talk a little bit in a minute about something that we've all been talking about for weeks now. Soon, I'm sure the story will die. But I have this strange feeling that we're going to see something very, very dangerous happen in the coming weeks. Hopefully this snowstorm across the country will sort of tamper things down and maybe everybody get home, chill, drink some hot chocolate, feel better about themselves, and then next week they'll forget about it and they'll be outraged about something else. Yeah. But there is something very dangerous that's been happening, and I got to talk about all of it. And they are all related to ICE. And, of course, the deportations. Now, I'll get into that in a second. But I got a text message here, or a chat room message here from a man. I'm only saying this because he writes it in the text that he is white. His name is Thomas, and he asks a question. I'd like to read that question. He says, Reese, what do you hope to accomplish with your denigration of Dr. King? I am white, and I don't understand it. Now, most, like I said, people who do not know how to ask a particular question will ask it based upon, I would assume, emotion.
Denigrate. That's a great word.
It's a word he chose. So right. I only want to use the word he chose. Maybe he chose it poorly. Maybe now he's listening and he's saying to himself, yeah, maybe that was a poor choice of words. But I'm only going to use your word. So I hope if you wish to change the way in which you ask, do that. But let me answer the question you asked, because that's important. Always answer the question you're asked.
Right.
My answer to that is, why would it be my denigration? My denigration of Dr. King. I have not ever talked about anything that Dr. King didn't say or do himself. That's all I did.
You had the audacity to present documented facts.
His evidence of fact.
Shame on you.
Things that Dr. Martin Luther King said in his works, how he felt about the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Right.
What he thought about Christianity. These are all in his works.
His own
writing.
You didn't create this and
exactly.
just decide.
People who have written books about him, who are his best friends, who write about his infidelity and the women he was with. Documents that show a lot of the behavior that he was responsible for that no one has ever disputed. We're talking about, people can talk about J. Edgar Hoover. People can talk about Robert F. Kennedy. People can talk about the Kennedys. I told people that the Kennedys were some of the most racist people in the world. In fact, they were. In fact, I'll even go so far as to say Jacqueline Onassis Kennedy is on tape. Is on tape talking about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in a disparaging way. And again, no one has ever said that Jackie O was lying. Not one person said, I can't believe that white woman said that about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Why? Because it's been proven true. This has nothing to do with my denigration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This is about telling Dr. Martin Luther King's true self through his own words and his own actions and his own deeds. Now, your confusion about it. Here's where you're confused. You are making this about me and not about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And more importantly, Thomas, you are not making this about you. Why? Because in some way you have placed me at a hierarchy. You are thinking that because I'm on the radio and I'm talking about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., that in some way that supersedes your own image of him. If you choose to believe Dr. Martin Luther King is as white as the driven snow, or as pure as the driven snow, I should say, if you believe that he is a pillar of our society, if you believe that he was the moral, what's the term that John Lewis said about him, the moral leader of our society, if you believe that about him, have at it. That is yours.
Absolutely.
I don't want any parts of that. You can have that on your own. But if you are concerned about my opinion of him, as if to suggest that my opinion of him in some way supersedes everyone else's, then you, sir, are putting me on a pedestal and removing Martin Luther King Jr. from your own.
I think it's important, too, to point out that none of what you have said is a creation or concoction of your own making.
Exactly.
These are all documented things. These are words that King himself has printed. I mean, we've seen his college papers,
right,
talking about how much the Christ story is a fallacy and the Virgin Mary, the virgin birth is a fallacy, and then
professes to be a Christian minister.
Well, he's a Marxist. He talks about the advancement of Marxism and the reason why that is a far superior life choice, So to talk about being to denying the basic tenets of Christianity, mm-hmm. and then proclaiming that Marxism is the true, life force.
And what are the tenets of Marxism? Man is God.
So what are we learning? Now, if we take this a step further and look at and go back a little bit further, and who do I always remind you to talk about? Margaret Sanger.
Right.
Because Margaret Sanger comes up with the abortion, mm-hmm. right? And what is the first thing she says? We need to get these black ministers on board to help us educate these Negroes or these undesirables on how to reduce their population.
Exactly.
So now you have this...
The weeds, in fact.
Right. She is also a Marxist, so she's pushing this Marxist ideology. She finds this black minister who's willing to do the Marxist bidding on her behalf in the black community to weed out the black folks.
That's not even the worst part. You know what it is? Guess what? Some of the biggest names in so-called black leadership, Harry Belafonte, James Baldwin, all of these guys openly admitted they were Marxists.
So
they're on tape, by the way.
What's the guy's
Thomas.
name? Thomas, do me a favor. Why don't you go ahead and do some historical research?
Or just watch the documentary I asked everybody to.
Just go ahead and do some historical research and come back and let us know what you've read based on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. By the way, it wasn't his real name. It wasn't like his actual name, his father. Regardless, go ahead and research about Martin Luther King Jr. and his father.
Right.
And come back to us and let us know what moral authority this individual has over anybody else. And I think Reese is right. If his opinion or my opinion is now somehow destroying your foundational image of reality, maybe it's time to ask yourself, why are you viewing reality the way that you are? Don't get pissed off. I'm sorry. Don't get mad at the messenger. Look at the message and ask yourself why you continue to believe something that is so easily shattered.
Yeah, I think the scary part about Thomas in the way in which he's describing this is that instead of and this is also what I said, the intellectual laziness or the outright laziness of the person who was countering my point. Is like, don't just yell at me from the rafters about you're wrong. When I say, how am I wrong? And you go, you just are, that's not an argument.
Right. Well, again, the foundation, the point that I think most people are missing is if what I say so easily shatters your perception, why do you continue to believe what it is you believe?
Well, I think, Thomas, in this case, what he's not realizing is that by writing that letter, that note alone, he has already given me more power than he intends. That he doesn't need. And again, this is not me shaming him for that. This is me explaining to him that Reese on the radio is on the radio to give you analysis and in some cases my opinion, if not an information. What I'm saying now, if you are under the impression because I'm on the radio that now all of a sudden that what I say is sacrosanct. Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm now superior in the thought area. No. I'm not a thought leader. I'm not. I'm telling you what I've learned about him.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I've shared with you what I've learned. And then while doing that, I said, listen, go watch this documentary. I told them, the MLK Project, it's only $38. Just go purchase it. It's on Vimeo. Please watch it. I think it's important for people to watch. People are always saying, we're lied to by our media. We are lied to by our public officials. So I'm saying, good. If you believe that you're being lied to, here's an opportunity to no longer to be lied to. And then here's Thomas saying, I don't like the fact that you're telling me we're being lied to.
Well, I think it's another valid point is that all you hear about is how Black culture is being, like Black history is being denied. We're being whitewashed, this forced, we're whitewashing Black history. You're erasing us from history. Well, this is a perfect example.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch the documentary, that's fine. But there are other methods of finding Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s documented writings and his speeches and the people that were close to me. You can find all of these things out for yourself so that you can get a fact-based history on the man that you're holding onto a pedestal. You don't need our credibility. You don't need my name. You don't even need me to tell you what website to look at. You can find these things. Although I do know that that CNN reporter did talk about how independent research is dangerous.
Well, yeah, it's right. Brian Stelter.
But that is definitely an option. Instead of being mad that somebody's presenting you with their version of the truth, why don't you just find out how much validity lies in that truth? Now,
speaking of truth, and thank you, because that's a great segue into the next piece that I want to play. Moving on from that, Thomas, I hope that helped you, and I hope that you go and watch the documentary. Please do not leave me to be the person that denigrates Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I am just telling you what I experienced and then shared it with the audience. So there is no mission, if you think there is one. There's no mission of mine to do anything to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. His legacy is far greater than my existence.
It's already been done.
Yeah, that's, exactly. The man's got a statue in Washington, D.C. that's bigger than whatever. It's like huge. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet?
Oh, yeah, I took the kids there.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Anyway, I want to get to this thing talking about lying. And this is why all of this is important. Sorry. That was Greg Lamont, Ned Lamont. ABC News did a piece on a story that has since gone viral. And it is about a 5-year-old boy that the news media, WFSB here, and I don't know if TNH actually reported this story, but I know there were some others who were reporting on this story, who said that the 5-year-old, what's his name, Ethan?
Liam,
that's his name, Liam. 5-year-old Liam was detained by ICE.
Arrested.
Oh, that's right, arrested. You sure it was arrested? I thought it was detained.
Arrested.
Okay, we'll play it.
Seen pictures of him being
But this is
arrested.
such a great story. Let me just play the audio for you and the video as well if you're watching online. And then I will dissect what the funny part is. Again, leading the witness. What ABC does here, what ABC News does here is a tragedy when it comes to journalism. It is so bad. In fact, they should all be called into the office and reprimanded for hours for doing it. Here's the report.
In the meantime, to the other news tonight, the growing outrage in Minneapolis, the images of a 5-year-old boy returning home from preschool, detained by ICE. Agents taking the boy and his father into custody. Vice President J.D. Vance in Minneapolis today defending ICE agents, claiming they were protecting the child, saying, what are they supposed to do? Matt Rivers in Minneapolis again tonight.
What a horrible setup. David Muir, a reporter, seasoned reporter, was the worst setup to a story ever known. It is nothing more than clickbait on national television.
His 5-year-old wrote that intro for him.
Hold on. Here's the report.
Tonight, the haunting images sparking a firestorm.
Haunting images. A boy standing next to a car.
Smiling. A kid, I think, is smiling, isn't he?
Yes.
A preschool boy standing in the Minnesota cold, swept up in the ICE crackdown. School officials say 5-year-old Liam, wearing his blue hat and backpack, and his father, Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias, had just pulled into their suburban Minneapolis driveway Tuesday when agents took that father into custody. The school then saying an agent essentially used the 5-year-old as bait, directing him to see if anyone else was home before taking the boy away.
A school aide said that
from
their home.
Right.
Right. A school aide said that's what happened at the boy's house. Now, you know that, first of all, that's not a witness. No way that's a witness. Hold on.
That is called inadmissible.
Inadmissible, exactly. But no, not for the news media. Hold on.
The district saying Liam is among 4 students recently detained.
The sense of safety in our community and around our schools is shaken, and our hearts are shattered. And honestly, at the end of the day, children should be in school with their classmates.
But the kid had already been in school with their classmates. The kid was going home. That's all. Here, anyway, there's more to the story.
DHS telling a different story, saying ICE did not target a child, claiming Liam's father is an undocumented immigrant and fled on foot.
That's an important distinction.
He did what?
He fled on foot. It reminds me of the girl in Jurassic Park. He left us. He left us. That's what I'm thinking if I'm Liam. I'm just like, Daddy, why are you running? What? He left us. That's what I'm saying. Okay? You got a 5-year-old kid and you go booking it when ICE shows up? And a 5-year-old boy, no one is even interested in the fact that the 5-year-old boy, who the only person he's known in his life is Pop Pop, Pop Pop. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, darts off. He's like Robert De Niro in that scene in Heat when he's looking at his girlfriend in the car. Remember he told her? He goes, within 30 seconds when the heat is on you, you got to make a decision on whether or not you're going to stay or you're going to bolt. And what does he do? He bolts. That's what this guy's father does. Yeah, but anyway, we move on.
Abandoning his son in the driveway. Tonight, during a visit here in Minneapolis, Vice President J.D. Vance saying the agents were protecting the child.
What are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death?
To counter that claim by J.D. Vance, which shows you how biased ABC News is, right? What were ICE agents supposed to do? Leave him to sit there in the cold? So they put him in the car. They put him in a warm car. What were they supposed to do? This is how ABC chose to counter J.D. Vance, which shows you how biased and also how stupid they are that they put this in the report.
But the district says multiple people on scene did offer to take the child, but were refused.
Rozan, you're a mother. Please answer that ridiculous claim. In fact, if you want to know, what did I just miss? We'll play it again. Here's J.D. Vance.
What are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death?
And ABC News' response to that.
But the district says multiple people on scene did offer to take the child, but were refused.
Rozan?
Who in the hell is going to allow a stranger to take a random kid off the street?
Yes, and who are all of these people so eager to grab a 5-year-old?
We had 300,000 missing migrant children in this country. We have how many illegal migrants in Minnesota? We're like, you know what? Just take it.
Wait a minute.
Brown like you, take it.
Was the ICE agent supposed to hold Liam up in the air and say, hey, anybody want to take a kid? Who wants a kid? I got a kid here. Who can take the kid?
You know what it makes me think of? That scene from Saving Private Ryan where the parents are handing their kid down?
Yeah.
In France?
Yeah.
Right? Who does that? Who does that?
Just take my baby to freedom.
I don't know you, but take my kid.
Take my baby to freedom.
I'm sorry. Listen,
law enforcement officers, like never ever in the history of the world have the police ever just given a kid to someone standing in the street.
You want it? You want this kid? Yeah? All right, come get it. You got a car seat?
No? The dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
But the district says multiple people on scene did offer to take the child, but were refused.
Whoa.
Shameful.
This is absolutely awful. They just wouldn't give the baby to a stranger.
It's funny because when they find abandoned children in the street, where do they take the kid? To a hospital to be checked out. They're not just, hey, do you know this kid? Do you want it? You don't know this kid?
Listen, you know what's the part that makes me nuts? That broadcast gets 10 million views a night. There are 10 million dumber people. Yeah, 10 million dumber people today.
They should have let a stranger have... Do you have a white van? Does it have free candy written on the side? We're going to give the kid to the guy with the candy van. Yeah. He's got puppies.
Gotta take a break.
He's got a puppy.
I'm done with you, Rozan. You're a mess. God bless you. We'll be back. More news, more views. This is Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
We're back. Reese on the radio. Wow, we're only an hour and a half in. It seems like we've been here longer.
I don't know how to take that.
No, I mean like I felt like it's like we had so much stuff going on. It was like it's been here for a bit. Let me get to the phones real quick. I'm going to go to Marie in Burlington. That appears to be a new name and a new voice, I would presume. Hello, Marie.
Hey, Reese. I'm not a new person.
Okay.
I met you when we were at Avon, you and Rozan.
Okay.
Hello.
Well, thank you for calling in.
I've called before. So the whole deal about that little boy in Minnesota, I heard a report that the mother was present and the mother refused to take custody.
This is the wildest part about that story, Marie. Thank you. I was going to get into that. That is the wildest part of the story because when the way that ABC News describes this story is if they said they were using the kid as bait to find out who else was in the house. Let me rephrase it so that it makes sense. Hey, Liam, your dad just ran off. Is there anyone in the house that can take care of you while we hunt him down? And Liam goes, yes, my mommy is in the house.
But mommy won't open the door.
No.
She's illegal too.
I don't even know. But mommy, in essence, they say, look, we'll leave. She goes, no, I won't take him. No,
that my 5-year-old kid. Are you freaking kidding me?
Exactly. Which is again, this is the whole point, Marie.
I have an 18-year-old and I want to keep him next to me. I can't imagine giving up a 5-year-old.
And that's the uncomfortable truth in the entire story, is that no one wants to paint the picture that shows that these purest, like the most purest and the most docile and the most vulnerable people in the world would take that cute little kid that now the media is trying to use as a cudgel against anyone who wants illegal immigration out, to then have the fact that even his own adoring parents, just innocent people, would say, not my kid, and leave it alone and run away.
Right, yeah. No, it's insane. The whole thing is completely insane. And I got to tell you, I have such a hard time watching any of the network news, local news, or the evening news. And my husband gets so mad at me. He's like, well, you just have to accept it. And I'm like, no.
Your husband is part right, Marie. You do have to accept it. But you know what? The only way that you can deal with it is that you have to turn it off and you have to say, I can't let these people, poison me with this nonsense anymore. I just can't, because it's just not fruitful for you. It's not beneficial.
No, it's not, because I sit there and I'm like, every word they say, oh, hell no, that didn't happen.
Did it shock you? Here's the part that I'm asking. I think I asked everybody who I talked to about this. My question is, Did it shock you as a mother? I don't know if you are a mother. I hope you are.
I am. I have 2 children.
Okay. Did it shock you as a mother to hear that someone in the midst of that situation left the 5-year-old to ICE? Now, remember what they're all supposed to believe. ICE, evil, Gestapo, murderous, infantry. You, as a father with your 5-year-old, you bolt out of there. Did you not, in your head, did you not go, did you not in your heart and soul go, who does that? What kind of animal does that?
Yeah, no. I suppose I should have just left him there by himself and then froze to death,
A stranger would have taken him. It's fine.
Yeah.
Strangers on the street were willing to take him in.
According to onlookers, apparently the kid was up for grabs. His dance card was filled.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And the crazy part about it is, here's the thing. It turns out there were more people on the street who were strangers who wanted little Liam than his father or his mother.
Is he?
So his father should lose custody immediately.
Yep.
And so should his mother.
Indeed.
For somebody who did that to their own child, that's insane.
Yeah.
And, I heard Vance's speech, and I agree with him. It's like, damned if you do and damned if you don't. What the freak? Okay, no. I should leave them there, and then all the liberals are going to be, freaking out because of that.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what they did.
Exactly.
They're freaking out.
Yeah, exactly
it's
right.
Like that video of the dad. The dad is like a cop, right? So he's playing with his own son, and he's got zip ties, and he's pretending to zip tie his own son. And you've got these awfuls that are posting it saying, here's another black child being arrested. The kid's 3 years old. The dad has come out repeatedly saying, I was playing with my own child. He wasn't actually being arrested.
Which, again, that's under scrutiny, of course, by the awfuls. They get to tell you exactly how to play with your child. That's not.
Yeah, but as I recall, though, I remember seeing that. The kid was giggling.
Yes, and they didn't care.
In the video, he's laughing and playing, but they got a still shot of the kid just turning around, his head is just and they're like, oh no, another black child being arrested. Oh my God.
Thank you, Maria. I appreciate you, dear.
It's insane. Nice talking to you.
You got it.
Have a good one.
So, this ICE thing, and again, how dangerous this is getting, because of course, stories like this, you incite people with stories like Liam. You incite people with this, look at how awful they are. So let me give you another example of why I know that this snowstorm doesn't get people to calm down. It's going to get worse. This is the Arizona Attorney General in an interview talking about masked law enforcement officers, not ICE agents. Law enforcement officers.
Democratic Attorney General Chris Mays has a message for ICE.
We are watching you. If you violate an Arizona law, I will prosecute you.
The AG's office posted this new page on its website for the community to report alleged misconduct by federal agents, including video and images of the events in question.
We are encouraging people to send us their videos, and they have every right under the First Amendment to record those videos.
We got no problem with that, AG. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Then we get dark.
If there are confrontations between residents and ICE agents, like we've seen in other cities, Mays is concerned they could turn deadly.
But to be clear, you're not telling folks you have license if you are threatened.
Well,
whoa.
That's right. You heard that correctly. Let's make sure we play it back so you can hear it because the reporter asked her.
Not telling folks you have license if you are threatened.
Well,
wow.
He clears it up just to make sure.
Shoot a peace officer.
No, but again,
no but.
If you're being attacked by someone who is not identified as a peace officer, how do you know?
She says identified as a peace officer.
Because the body armor that says ICE on their chest and
badges, you're making an important distinction that she as the Attorney General is not. She says a peace officer. That means a regular cop. Okay? Anyone who is masked, a regular police officer who does not identify himself. What is an undercover cop?
No. And this is where a lot of people are being misconstrued. I've been actually reading the law about this, right? Federal law enforcement, ICE, Department of Homeland Security, They are law enforcement. FBI is law enforcement. They're not a local cop. In fact, federal law enforcement has greater jurisdiction than a local cop.
I understand it. Hold on. But when she's saying peace officer, this is where it gets reckless, because this is important. Hold on. There's a point that I'm trying to make here. Listen to this, the rest of it.
That's one reason Mays is demanding that ICE agents remove their masks.
If somebody comes at me wearing a mask and I can't tell whether they're a police officer, what am I supposed to do?
Again, what am I supposed to do? Again, the Attorney General, this is the top cop in Arizona.
Is she stupid enough to not know what a cop looks like?
No. That only leads us to all the way across the East Coast to Maine. I want you to listen to this story about a 60-something-year-old woman who interfered in a apprehension.
Oh, I saw this
morning,
one.
while Brewer police were helping investigate a threat at nearby schools, they say officers encountered a woman who thought they were ICE. Brewer police say 63-year-old Mary Conmee of Orrington deliberately drove to the scene and interfered with police activity. They say Conmee repeatedly sounded an air horn, refused lawful orders to leave, and yelled expletives at officers. Police say she stated she didn't want ICE in her neighborhood, despite reportedly having marked police cruisers and uniformed officers. Officials say her actions interfered with legitimate law enforcement operations and created a real risk to the officers.
She saw law enforcement, and she saw them apprehending someone, started whistling and screaming, and said she didn't want ICE, even though there were vehicles that were clearly stated police. This story gets worse, but here's the police officer, at least one of the spokespersons, talking about said arrest.
Interestingly enough, when we made contact with the person of interest, and we're investigating this further as to does it relate to the Old Town event, this person became aware of our whereabouts because of the sounding and alert of that air horn. So when you have somebody that comes by and has this intention of interfering at all costs, it's detracting us from the safety issues at hand. It's creating another pocket of distraction, and it's just a bad overall situation.
Now, I wish it was that simple, Rozan, but the woman here, her name is Mary Conmee, and again, this is a woman, 63 years old, who went there with a whistle and with horns and wanted to stop what
all
she
by
said
herself.
Was there to stop ICE agents, and said, cursing them out, get the bleep out of here. I don't want ICE in my city, even though each and every one of the vehicles that were there apprehending the person said police on it. And she's alerting the person that they're coming to apprehend that hey, ICE is there. In essence, putting their lives in danger because now they may have to give chase to said individual. Now, I wish that was just a simple part of this story, but it gets ugly. And you want to know where it gets ugly? Mary Conmee is a former New York State Police sergeant.
Yes. I'm sorry. I had to censor myself. You're flapping kidding me.
She is a former New York State Police sergeant.
Okay, so just walk with me through this real quickly.
She took the job in 1988.
I was 10. Anyway, so a former police officer...
Sergeant?
Regardless, a former police officer is incapable of identifying another law enforcement agent, entity, individual, regardless of the markings all over their vehicles and their person. She's incapable of distinguishing them from federal law enforcement, who also wears a distinct uniform with words written all over them.
Blind rage.
60-whatever
63.
years old, all alone, all by her lonesome.
That's why I said this is getting dangerous. It's dangerous. This woman couldn't even distinguish a police officer, and she's a former cop herself. It makes no sense.
But all of these awfuls out there are supposed to be able to make that critical decision as to who is and who is not law enforcement.
People can't even distinguish. We got to go to a break, but I'll tell you this. People couldn't even distinguish. I was looking it up. I wanted to find out when she retired, if she did, but they're saying that she's at least got 30 years of experience on the police force, and there she was impeding an officer doing their job. It's the most insane thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Everybody thinks you're former military because they don't know, right? They look at you as a big black guy. He's got to be military.
But no,
they can't tell anything, but yet they're out there doing stuff.
This woman.
Sit down.
This is like, it's insane. I can't believe it, but here we are.
Sit
anyway,
down.
We'll be back. Stand by. It's Reese on the radio.
And sit down.
It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back and about to get into the 4 o'clock hour. We've got homeschooling to talk about today. Later on in the program, also there is a West Hartford sustainable snow removal that I didn't even know that was a thing.
What is
Apparently, it's a real deal. Apparently, I mean, it's real. It's a real thing. I didn't know it either.
What is more sustainable than letting it melt and water the ground and go back into the groundwater?
No, they're talking about actual snow removal as far as like using salt or using sand versus, brine and beet juice and things like that. No, there's a whole thing. I didn't get it either.
Just shovel it into the grass. It'll melt.
Like I said, and I think they're talking about the actual, like, sort of like the city workers. They're talking about sustainable. I didn't know it was a thing either. I looked it up and it was like, no, this is a real thing.
It's like sustainably mopping water.
But I thought it was too. But apparently, I was setting up today to make fun of it. I was raring to go. I was going to be like, no way we can put climate change in removing snow. And I looked it up, and sure enough, it's a serious thing. People are mocking it, but I'm like,
the Pope blessed a chunk of ice.
I know.
So, yes, I guess it is serious. Tell me about sustainable snow removal.
It is. Look, I mean this as honestly as I can.
They use bicycles instead of motored vehicles?
Yes, of course they talk about using electric snow removal, like electric snow blowers, instead of gasoline powered.
They make me want to punch babies. God, this crap is ridiculous.
It sounds crazy. I'm telling you, I was all set to make fun of it.
I am.
And I started looking at it, and I go, oh, wow, this is a serious. I can't still stop laughing at it, but
you know I got to punch you in the forehead now, right?
No, it's really, really, like, it's crazy.
Kick you in your shin bone.
It's crazy.
Explain to me about sustainable snow removal.
There's a whole.
I want in on this. This is. Whew.
Well, in West Hartford,
Can we get a grant from the federal government for it? Because if we do, we're starting a business tomorrow.
You know that there's a federal grant for this. You know there is.
Can you get McCrory on the phone? I'm sure he can help us get a grant.
Speaking of which, we'll get into a lot of going on with him as well when we return. You are going to be like a lightning rod today for me.
Sorry.
I guess you're only doing it because you're going to be gone for a week and you want to leave a lasting impression.
Who says?
While you're going out of town.
I think it's because I'm hungry.
Teresa says, leave it to West Hartford. I'm with you, Rozan. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. I didn't think, like I said, I wouldn't have talked about it other than to mock it.
It's very practical.
Apparently it is. We got to go to weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is getting everybody ready to get home as the storm clouds roll in to town. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Rozan and I are sitting here. Usually we're doing our own thing, and we just happened to listen to John Silva's report at the top of the hour, which I'm sure you all heard, but he was playing audio from one of the women that was, I guess, was so outraged at little Liam being detained, as they put it, by the ICE officers. And the woman says something to the effect of, what would you detain a little 5-year-old for? What is he, dangerous?
You can't possibly classify him as a dangerous.
Yeah, a dangerous child. And Rozan immediately said,
remember that kid in Virginia that shot his first grade teacher?
Abby Swarmer.
Yeah, and in kindergarten when he was 5, he strangled and choked out his kindergarten teacher.
Sure did.
Don't tell me it's not possible. Liam isn't. We don't have any evidence to suggest that Liam, that cute little sweet boy, was any of that. But you don't know. You don't know.
When Rozan was in here like literally exploding when she saw that. And just going, you don't know what you're talking about, a 5-year-old. I mean, we have a 5-year-old who, and that wasn't the crazy part, because we talked about that shooting for the longest, about Abigail Swerner in Newport News, Virginia, shot by a kid. And it wasn't even the worst part that the kid that shot by the kid in class, but that wasn't the worst part. The kid took the gun from his mother, hid it in his backpack, told another kid that if you tell anybody, I'll shoot you. Then the kid told a supervisor there. That supervisor went into the kid's backpack. The 6-year-old had the wherewithal to remove the gun from the bag so he wouldn't be caught with it.
Yeah, that's great. After he shoots the teacher in the face, what does he say?
Yeah, I killed that bee. That's what he said. I killed that bee.
I'm just saying.
And then we find out after all of that, the 5-year-old a year earlier, which they kept on a report, put a teacher in a sleeper hold. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
And
the only person taking a nap today is you.
And this kid had a parent in the home. Nobody even wanted poor Liam. No telling what sort of abandonment trauma response this child's going to have.
What's that you said about nap time? Go to sleep.
You ain't my daddy. You ain't my daddy. Remember that time you left me?
I'm sorry. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Before we go nuts in here, Mark.
Too late.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Now, I'd like to take a moment here, if I could, being the anniversary of Roe v. Wade, to just express my point of view a little bit on the subject. And the reason why is because I've talked about this on my podcast, and I've talked about this over my career. And I don't think I've ever shared with you folks my point of view on this, other than the fact that you know that I am pro-life. You do know that. But I do want to talk to some of the people who I've seen. I think Matt Blumenthal, who is Dick Blumenthal's son, was on X today talking about how Connecticut is fighting for your reproductive rights, not just here in Connecticut, but across the country, which, again, is an opt-out for states who don't want it and states who do want it. They have voted. The people have said they want it, and that's going to be the case. Ohio was a perfect example of that. You wanted to say something real quick?
Yes, I know that the phrase reproductive rights is a misnomer because it is not a reproductive right. What you are doing is advocating for the
abortion of your child,
the death of, or the ending of a pregnancy. Reproductive implies reproducing.
Right.
It is the act of reproduction.
Or not reproducing.
No.
Yeah.
It is your reproductive right. They're reproductive health.
Yeah.
Reproductive meaning reproducing, which means creating more life. What they're advocating for is the destruction of life.
Yes.
So it's a misnomer.
No. When I say the reproductive, meaning that I can choose, you and I can choose to not have children, that is a reproductive right. It's not a reproductive right to create the life and then kill it. That's not reproductive.
The murder of the child is not reproductive.
Exactly.
And there's nothing reproductive rights about it. That is a misnomer.
Exactly. But let me make my point.
I apologize.
That's okay. This is very important that we get this out there. Okay. So I want to give you guys a little bit of a history lesson because this is important that you know. Okay? When this argument for years was brought up, it was often told after 1973 that discussions about abortion could not be had by men. We could not have men, white men in particular, in Washington telling women what to do with their bodies. That's what we were told, and Roe v. Wade codified that. In essence, it gave them license to tell men, stay out of it. Now, when I was a kid, what I kept saying to a lot of these rabble-rousing, loud-ass women, I said to them, well, hold on. I don't want to have a conversation about what you're discussing, but I do want to address it. So you're telling me that men are not allowed to have a discussion about a woman's right to have an abortion, but the person that gave you the right through Roe v. Wade were 7 out of 9 men? Oh, but that's not. Yes, it is important because the decision was made by men. They are the ones who gave you the right to abort your child. Yes, there is no wishy-washiness about it. That is a fact. That was the argument. As always, let me rock. I promise you I'll let you in. There is no way you can tell me that it's okay for the men to make the decision that you like and then tell the rest of us that we have to sit it out. Okay? Can't do it. Can't do it. And I made that argument since I was a kid. No woman has ever been able to thwart it. Has never been able to explain it to me because they got what they wanted. It's just like, it's not what they wanted. No. It's every part of this discussion. But guess what? We moved on. Roe v. Wade has been overturned. We applaud that, or at least I do. Now, let's get to what Matt Blumenthal was on X talking about today. And what he said, and this is very important, what Matt had to say today, and Matt, I hope somebody you know is listening. Matt said that conservative justices overturned Roe v. Wade, as if to suggest that the conservative justices are inherently evil in overturning Roe v. Wade, that in some way they were stacking the deck with conservatives in the Supreme Court, which got the overturning of Roe v. Wade. But I would expect Matt to know a little bit about history. So let's go there. In 1973, the decision to codify Roe v. Wade was that of Warren E. Burger, the Chief Justice, appointed by Richard Nixon, a conservative. William O. Douglas was appointed by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, very strong liberal. William J. Brennan Jr., Dwight D. Eisenhower, liberal. Potter Stewart, Eisenhower, he was a moderate conservative. But the interesting part about this, and guess what? I'm wrong here. I'm sorry. Brennan was appointed by Eisenhower, who is a Republican, but Brennan was a liberal judge. Potter Stewart, as I said, Eisenhower was a moderate conservative. Thurgood Marshall, appointed by Lyndon B. Johnson. You all know. He was a Democrat, so was Thurgood. And Lewis F. Powell, Jr., also appointed by Richard Nixon, a moderate conservative. So if we get this right, the 7 justices who voted for Roe v. Wade, the right for a woman to abort her child, was a bipartisan effort by conservative and liberal judges. And the 2 dissenters were Byron R. White, appointed by John F. Kennedy, and William H. Rehnquist, appointed by Nixon, a Democrat and a Republican. That's weird. That it was a bipartisan effort of a bunch of men who gave women the right to abort their child. Let's fast forward. Again, no women giving women the right to abort their child. And then we have the decision to overturn it. And there were 3 women on the bench. 3 women. That is Amy Coney Barrett, Sonia Sotomayor, and Elena Kagan. Now, I would say that this was a much fairer reason to have a discussion, because then we've at least got some women who can make a decision, right? No more argument about some men making a decision for women. We got some women in here. Well, let's look at what turned out. Samuel Alito, George W. Bush. Clarence Thomas, George H.W. Bush. Neil Gorsuch, Donald Trump. Brett Kavanaugh, Donald Trump. Amy Coney Barrett, Donald Trump. They all voted to overturn it. John G. Roberts, appointed by George W. Bush, the Chief Justice. Guess what he did? He sided with conservatives, but with one caveat. He was concurrent in judgment, but only upheld Mississippi's law, but would not fully overturn Roe v. Wade. because he, John Roberts, is kind of a wuss. And he hates being the guy that overturns, a lot of liberal dogma. He's just that guy. He's just scared to death. He's always been that guy. It's how we got Obamacare. Anyway, that's just the guy. He is. He actually changed the law to say it was a tax, which Obama told every day. It wasn't a tax. It wasn't a tax. It wasn't a tax. And then John Roberts did a little flim-flam to make it a tax, which then could codify it as law. That's how we got it. Anyway, we're moving on. The dissenters were 3. Remember, 7-2, 4, 6-3. I would say that's a reasonable breakdown, right? We actually got more people because women were in the justices. Stephen Breyer, Clinton appointed, Sonia Sotomayor, and Elena Kagan, both appointed by Barack Obama. Now, let's get to the most important part about what Matt had to say. Matt made it about conservatives. Matt made this also about getting the reproductive rights to everyone across the country instead of people being able to make a decision on their own.
Birthing people.
That's right. Right. But see, I would say to Matt, what's a woman?
A birthing person.
Can a man get pregnant, Matt? Right? Let's find that out. Are you getting reproductive rights for biological men? Are you going to make sure that they get access to reproductive health?
We saw that video where now they're doing stuff to help men give birth through the rectum.
That's correct. Mm-hmm. They're working at everything. I would like to ask those questions to Matt Blumenthal. I'd also like to ask Governor Ned Lamont, who posted today, of all things, some weird little missive about the anniversary of Roe v. Wade. And I said to myself, did this guy actually post something about Roe v. Wade today on the anniversary and say these insane words? Let me read them to you. We'll always stand up and protect your right to make your own health care decisions. Your rights are safe here, he said about Connecticut. When I asked Grok a simple question, hey, does Ned Lamont stand for your medical decisions or does he stand against them? Grok says, no, Ned Lamont stands against your health care decisions. Here's what it wrote. Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont actively implemented and defended several medical mandates during COVID-19, particularly vaccine requirement and mask policies in key sectors.
My body, my choice.
That's right. In August of 2021, Lamont issued executive orders mandating COVID-19 vaccinations for state employees, K-12 teachers and staff, early childhood education workers, and certain healthcare and long-term care workers, all while posting on his page, in Connecticut, we'll always stand up for reproductive freedom and protect your right to make your own healthcare decisions. Your rights are safe here. Is Ned Lamont lying?
Yes.
Thank you.
Of course.
You have 2 minutes. What do you got?
So first of all, I want to tell you, Roe v. Wade was never codified. That would have made it a law.
A law, that's right. Fair enough.
Now, Roe v. Wade...
Well, they called it the law of the land. That's what everybody tells me.
Roe v. Wade does not protect abortion. There is nothing in Roe v. Wade that specifically says this is for abortion. Roe v. Wade upholds a woman's 14th Amendment right to privacy. Mm-hmm. That privacy extends to her decisions in medical choices.
Right.
So that's how they were able to get abortion in as a protected right. Mm-hmm. It's not a law, it's a protected right. What's actually being protected is a woman's right to make decisions regarding her own person, because prior to this, a woman couldn't even have a bank account or credit card without her husband or her father's signature.
Right. But the Dobbs decision is exactly the point, because what they're saying is that the woman still has her 14th Amendment right.
I have not lost my 14th Amendment right to medical privacy. I don't need you to go to the gynecologist with me anymore so the doctor can tell you what's going on in my hoo-ha.
But that's the point. So what the Dobbs decision says is, in essence, does the baby have agency, right?
Well, I believe, I have to look it up. There was when Donald Trump was talking about birthright citizenship, and all these liberals went nuts, and they passed a law saying that any fetus conceived in the United States is now an American citizen.
Great argument for the...
So if the fetus conceived within the United States is an American citizen, is killing it murder?
I think you can make both arguments.
I'm just saying. So I just want to make sure that we understood the 14th Amendment is not codified. It is just the
extension.
SCOTUS agreeing that women have a right to privacy in making their own medical decisions. There's nothing that specifically says abortion. It was brought forward because this woman wanted to be, she already had the abortion, but she wanted to make sure that she was still legally allowed to do so. They were trying to arrest her in the state of Texas. That's all it did was protect her legal right to medical privacy.
Okay, fair enough. So that was the only point that I wanted to make about all of this.
Although I am a conservative woman, I am still very much pro-choice. And I know that we don't agree on that, but...
That's okay.
The decisions I make for me are not the same decisions that are going to be appropriate for somebody else. And so I'm pro-choice.
No, that I can totally understand that. I mean, that's... Again, and that was, we always talk about that was our first big debate when you and I started sort of courting each other. And never once have I held it against you. I said, it was like, boy, you ain't pro-life. We can't get together. No, it wasn't that. It was like you had a lot of fair arguments. And the beauty part about it is, and I'll tell you this, is the fact that when you brought that up, you brought that argument up to me. It's like, listen, this is what Roe v. Wade is about. Don't make it an argument about something that isn't in the law.
Right.
Right. So, and that was how you were able to convince me. There's a lot more to this.
More nuanced.
Yeah, it's way more nuanced, exactly, than the argument presents, or at least the way people present it. So I just wanted to tell everybody what I thought of that. So when I hear this Roe v. Wade thing, people make me laugh because it's like
they don't know what they're talking about.
They don't.
The ignorance is so overwhelming, and it's fascinating to watch.
It is. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Sometimes you do steal my thunder. You do know that, right?
Sorry.
I'm totally kidding. I think you were funny. I think you were a whip. You completely floor me sometimes. And it's nice to always not be the funny person in the room. I get to just relax and you just go nuts as always, which I have a great time doing. I meant to do this the other day, so we haven't done it in a while. So here's the stupidest thing I read today.
Ooh.
Now, I have to admit, this is a throwback because it took place in July of 2024. Michael Berkheimer suffered severe complications after choking on a bone in Parmesan garlic boneless wings at Wings on Brockwood in Hamilton, Ohio, leading to an esophageal tear and infection requiring emergency care. He sued the restaurant supplier and farm for negligence in failing to warn about possible bones in items described as boneless breast meat nuggets. Lower courts dismissed the suit. A decision upheld by the Ohio Supreme Court in a 4-3 ruling ended up in July of 2024. July 25 of 2024. Justice Joseph T. Dieters wrote that boneless wings, this is where it's going to floor you, wrote that boneless wings denotes a cooking style, not a bone-free guarantee. Comparing it to chicken fingers, not implying actual fingers. Consumers should reasonably expect bones since chickens have them. Dissenting Justice Michael P. Donnelly called the majority logic utter jabberwocky. How do I read through this? I can't. The look on your face is perfect, by the way. Arguing that parents expect boneless products to be safe for children without bones. The ruling sets precedent for food labeling, suggesting juries should decide negligence in similar cases. It raises questions about consumer expectations versus industry practices, potentially influencing how restaurants advertise processed meats. Berkheimer's ordeal underscores the risk of misleading terms, even if legally permissible. So what may indeed happen is that this may have to go to the Supreme Court. I mean, I'm sorry, but it may have to. This is just one of those cases that I know people are going to say, we're not. Are we really going to see this?
Boneless, sans bones, without bones. I like my chicken wings without bone. Do I know it's not a wing? Yes, I know it's a wing. I know it's a fancy nugget covered in sauce. I get it. But I buy it with the understanding that I'm not going to break a tooth or rupture my esophagus while eating said nuggets.
But I can't believe that he said comparing chicken fingers, not implying actual fingers. I just can't. I got to take a break. Please, Mark Christopher.
Buffalo wings, not actual buffalo.
Let's go to Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Boneless does not mean boneless in Ohio, apparently. I can't believe this. Mark, you there?
Right here.
Oh, okay. I was just saying to you, apparently in Ohio in the Supreme Court, boneless chicken wings don't have to be boneless. Because it would be like saying chicken fingers are actual fingers.
Oh, okay. Well, with the Super Bowl coming up, that's an important distinction to make.
Very important distinction.
I'm just curious how much buffalo is in
a buffalo wing.
Right.
Yes. So this has got to go to the Supreme Court. I don't care what anybody says.
I'm confused.
Oh, my God.
Mark Christopher's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
Americans eat at the... Well, I can't say that on the air. At the big game.
Yes, the big game.
All
which
right,
up
so
here is like
Americans consume 1.47 billion chicken wings at the big game.
1.7 billion?
Billion. So there's a lot of reason that we should
well, according to this story, we have to be careful with even the boneless ones because some may have bones even though they say boneless. And you can't sue. Makes sense.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to eat wings and boneless wings because they taste really good.
Just separate them
Watch
first.
Out for the bones.
Yeah, just separate them first.
Keep them separated.
That's it.
You got to keep them separated. Dun, 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 dun.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I'm good with that. Anyway, so there has been a statement that has been released by Senator Rob Sampson, the ranking senator on the Legislative Government Oversight Committee, as it pertains to Senator Doug McCrory. And I'd like to read it to you because I got the email, and thank you, Adam, for sending it to me. This is what he said, and this is, I would say this is a strong statement, but I could do this a little stronger than Rob Sampson, but I still like the memo and the release anyway. Here's what he writes. Senator Rob Sampson, the ranking senator on the legislature's Government Oversight Committee, issued the following statement regarding the audit which flagged potential fraud at a Hartford nonprofit linked to Senator Doug McCrory. Quote, I firmly believe that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. With that said, here is the situation. He's mentioned no less than 20 times in the damning audit which cites potential fraud and misappropriation of public funds. The FBI is probing his connection to Blue Hills. Hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars are missing. It's just gone. Money that could have helped people in need. It certainly looks like millions of dollars of fraud has been committed against Connecticut taxpayers. His own state Democrat leadership won't urge him to do it, but I will. Step back from your responsibilities as a lawmaker until the investigation is complete. Either recuse yourself for your legislative authority, accuse yourself of your legislative authority as Governor Lamont and Senate Republican leader Stephen Harding and the House Republican leader Vincent Candelaria have urged or resigned from office. I look forward to the bipartisan legislative hearing to peel back the layers of this onion to prevent this abuse of the Connecticut taxpayers and people in need from happening again. Again, written by Senator Rob Sampson, ranking senator on the legislature's Government Oversight Committee. Let me go one step further here on this to separate myself. Rob, don't co-sign what I'm about to say, but I'm just helping you out. This is very important, okay? We have got to make a decision, folks, as a state. We have to. And I've got skin in the game now, so I don't want to hear any crap about, oh, you're new here. But all that nonsense about that's how things get done or that's how things are here in Connecticut, those days are and must be over. And I don't care whose side it is. Lamont sitting up here saying, well, there are some Republicans that have done some stuff. Fine. Point those people out because we'll call for them to resign too. Give us the opportunity to call those people out. But see, here's the thing, Lamont and a lot of other folks, you're never going to call those people out. Because if we demand that those folks resign, you're going to have to follow suit. And you don't want to. You have no intention of. And there are a lot of people around here saying, what's the big deal, right? Why bother? They're just going to do what they do, Reese. Okay, that's fine if you want to believe that. That's not going to be the case. Ever again. It's not going to be the case. This is a lot of money. And this is a lot of money that was given out for the sole purpose of whatever these bozos are talking about with equity and DEI and black, reparations and white guilt and all that other stuff. You folks were willing, hand over fist, to give millions of dollars to one black man and say, go ahead, disperse it to your people. And guess what? He lied to you. Oh, boy, did they lie to you. They lined their pockets. They took care of themselves. And the poorest among them stayed poor. In fact, with those millions of dollars that went out, think about this, folks, just so we understand, because one does go in hand with the other. Think about it. Millions of dollars were allocated by Senator Doug McCrory to care for the unfortunate. And on his watch and Lamont's watch and your watch, all of you too, people got poorer. You poured millions into an issue and things got worse. Imagine you have a plumber. You have a construction worker. You have a cleaning lady. Just take a cleaning lady. Imagine you pay this cleaning lady $100 an hour to come and make your house spotless, and for some odd reason, the place looks like crap. Just dirtier. But she's coming in every week, and you just keep pouring in. Here's another couple of $100. You wouldn't even dream of it. And here's this guy giving millions of dollars, giving it to a society that was supposed to help people who were supposed to be in need, and their lives got worse. And the place had to be closed down. And you don't think that somebody should pay for this? You don't think that somebody should resign? You don't think that there should be some accountability? You think the answer should be no. Next time when we give money out, because apparently we will, we're going to find some more money that we're going to tax people out of, and we're going to give them to other people. But this time, don't worry about it, folks. We're going to make sure that the money is accounted for and that people who need it actually get it. Who here believes that nonsense? Ned Lamont doesn't. Ned Lamont doesn't. Republicans in his state don't. Democrats don't. Not one Democrat believes that. That's why they hang their head in shame every time you say them. So you think the next time around you guys are going to get it right? Well, Reese, I can't speak for everybody. It's like, I don't want you to speak for everybody. How about this? Let's stop giving taxpayer dollars away. How about that? How about all this nonsense that you're helping out all these poor people, that you're helping these people in need? How about we actually just find out who's in need and we help them one by one individually? And we stop giving money, millions of dollars, I might add, to a bunch of charlatans that are at dinner parties, shaking each other's hands, talking about, I got the Sheba company. I got the Cicero company. I'm going to help a homeless people company. Just lining the pockets of people that they're going to put inside some building that never sees a soul. Can we not end up like Minnesota? Let me put it to like this. Let me say the thing everybody really, really wants to say. Can we not give another $15 million to Somalians? And when I mean that in a metaphorical way. Can we not give our tax dollars to a bunch of pirates? How about that? Can we not give people's hard-earned money that you keep telling them you have to tax them for to a bunch of pirates and hooligans, miscreants? Can we just not do that? And let's show the people that we asked to vote, the ones that you asked to vote for you, could we then show them that they can be that you can be trusted with their tax dollars, that you are really going to lift them out of poverty, like you actually do the thing that you say that you're doing in all of your stupid little campaign videos, that people that you actually have, the people who are standing behind you, they're not actors. They are actual people who can say, yeah, he helped me get out the hood. Yeah, I got a job. Hey, yeah, I can feed my family. My daughter's going to college. Like actual people instead of just a bunch of black props. Because that's what's being treated. That's how these people are being treated. And the worst part is that you guys, this is the part that makes me angry. You horrible white people. You horrible, despicable, disgusting white people who take taxpayers' money, give it to these charlatans who say that they're going to do the bidding of helping them out, and then you do these photo ops standing in front of the hood and saying, look what I did. Look at all the Negroes I helped. We've had enough. Okay? Now, I know there's a bunch of people out there that are saying, Reese, we need that money. Stop stepping on us. I'm sorry. Worst part is that we know you don't care about them. Those people you use. You drive by, they're nothing more than B-roll. Look at these poor black folks. Look at this poor black person. Look at this crackhead. Look at this homeless mother. Look at these homeless children. And then you go over to the white folks and you hold your hand out and say, look at all that poor stuff. Give me $5. And then white folks feel bad about themselves and, oh, here you go. Take 10. And then you go out and you buy yourself some E&J.
Rims, Tims, and Slim Jims.
It's what it is. It's just what it is. Let's be honest. And you guys know it, and you're all embarrassed. The reason why Ned Lamont couldn't say what he wanted to say about Doug McCrory, because like I told you earlier when I first got here, Ned Lamont is scared to death of black people. He doesn't know how to operate them. They're a time bomb to him. He doesn't want to say the wrong thing. If he admonishes Doug McCrory, what would the black folks say? That's why he can't say it. That's why he's scared. That's why the legislature can't say anything, because they're scared to death. We can't admonish him. He's a very, very powerful black man. If we do that, the black folks won't vote for us. And, we need the black folks to vote for him. You know what? We'll keep them on the committee and we'll give them some more money. But we'll say, Doug, do me a favor. Don't squander this, okay? Well, if anything, hide it next time. Hide it better. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And I don't need the black community to stand by me. I don't. I'm not asking for them to stand by me. I'll do the job that they can't do or refuse to do. I will step up for them. Okay? While everybody else in the state calls me an Uncle Tom or a sellout, I'll stand up for the black people who will never see a dime in that taxpayer money that keeps going to the pockets of all these so-called well-to-do, we gonna do better for you black folks. You know, I was going to save this, but I know homeboy is never, ever going to show up here. Can I tell you exactly why I know that these people are garbage? And we didn't mention it before, but you know what? This is the dirty secret. This is the dirty secret, and I'll show you exactly how bad this is. Corey Betts is the president of the Hartford chapter of the NAACP. The reason why I have his telephone number and the reason why I met him is because I was in the courtroom with him when people were trying to get the video of the murder of J. Allen Jones released by a judge. He was there, and he was there with Devon Ward. And he was there with Evilise, whatever her last name is, from Black Lives Matter 860, there with the mother, Jessica Jones, the mother of J. Allen Jones' son, and everybody else who was there fighting for that video to be released. Because, again, they are calling it a George Floyd-like murder. Well, wouldn't you know that Corey Betts, a week later, went down to go see the man who is preventing that video from being released and was photographed with him, hanging out with him, saying, we came down here to talk to the Attorney General to talk about housing. Shucking and jiving with the man who is not helping black folks get justice for the murder of a young black man. Don't believe me? Just go to the Hartford chapter of the NAACP's Instagram page, and you will see that photo yourself. We did. So we know exactly what these folks are doing. They're all frauds. And it's time to make these frauds resign. We'll be back. Go ahead. I got to go to a break.
Nice
I'm sorry.
Frauds, they're obese and in nice suits. How does that happen?
We got to take a break. Mark Christopher's coming up. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Usually that happens really, really fast, and I totally forget. Anyway, we've got traffic and weather coming up in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. I was looking up some stuff because I wanted to make sure that I had the photograph, because people, you know, sometimes they don't believe you when you say certain things. It's like, no, there's no way that that's true. Yes, it's true. Right there it is right there on the screen. I put it up on, you can't see it, no. But I put it up on the show screen, and I got it right in front of me. You know, you just don't do stuff like that. You don't show up. Like, that's the guy who's got the info on, really, it's a civil rights issue with a man who is, in essence, killed. The coroner says so, and there it is. Here's what he wrote. Corey Betts. Here's what he wrote. We had a very important meeting yesterday with William Tong, the Attorney General for the state of Connecticut, discussing subjects such as concentrated poverty, prison and criminal justice reform.
I think it's time for a new suit.
And hospital mergers and the impact on poor communities.
He needs a new suit.
My question is what's the Attorney General got to do with that? And you are advocating for, like, you didn't use that relationship. And this is what I say to people all the time. What's the point of having a relationship if it's not reciprocal?
I'm going to say something really controversial.
No, it's tight on him.
Yeah, no,
it's a little
I've moved on. Remember what Gavin Newsom had in Davos?
Oh, yes, he did. Talking about the knee pads.
I'm wondering. You know,
Look, I get to go along to get along, but pick a side. Pick a side.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be on the side that is persecuting your community, right? That'd be like me teaming up with the person who bullies my kid every day. Like, yeah we're gonna work this out. Come on, high five. Let's dap
exactly.
it up, homie.
And you didn't use that relationship to get any of this, because sitting today, you got that photo op, but guess what? Video's still not released.
That bully's kid's dad, has a Louis Vuitton store.
I told you.
I need that relationship more than I care about my kid.
Don't trust a darn soul of any of these people. That's why I say I don't get into bed with them, and you can't trust a word that comes out of their mouth, especially these civil rightsers. They're all liars. just who they are. If you're a black liberal, I can't trust your father and I can throw you. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
By the way, we'll get into that sustainable snow removal thing in West Hartford in a second because I know you want to talk about that, and then we'll get to some phone calls as well as we get out of here. And I hope people understand that, you know, you've been here long enough. It's been a little more than 6 months since the recent radio program is there. We do not really, as a show, sort of drive the whole phone call thing until later in the show. You understand that format. You know who I respect in this game, who I always have, and he has been, as far as I'm concerned, he has been my mentor, my leader in a lot of the radio that I do. So we don't take a lot of phone calls in the beginning, but we do take them later on. So if you are on hold, please know that we will get to you. And if you haven't heard that, share it with the rest of you. Because we have so much content to get to, and I spend 3, maybe 5 hours putting the show together, and it's important that we get to that.
No, you don't. You spend 8, 9, 10 hours.
It's not that long.
You get home from work, it's all you do. You wake up in the morning, it's all you do. You get here early, that's all you do. Then you put on a show, then you go home, and you start all over. It's more than 4 or 5 hours. Don't tell that lie.
Well, it's not a lie. I would say that...
It's a fiblet. A fiblet. You fib.
5 hours, I think, is a reasonable amount of time.
It sounds, when you say it, sounds
you make
like
it sound like I'm really... Sometimes I'm just reading.
That's all you do. You are obsessive.
Okay, fine.
You're tenacious.
Well, don't call it a lie. I'm just being...
Fiblet. I apologize. It was a fiblet. You feel better?
Carmilla says you were dressed for the weather she sees.
Oh, hot flashes.
Look, earlier when I was talking about this whole thing about the fraud, right? The thing that drives me crazy about this is that Ned Lamont is not meeting the moment in this nonsense about, oh, well, they're not resigning. This is fraud. And this is the zeitgeist around the country. It is everywhere you turn. Maine has got a huge story going on with the fraud that's happening with Somalians there. And not just Somalians, but a whole bunch of fraud with a whole bunch of people. We clearly have one here with Senator Doug McCrory. We don't even have to start with Minnesota. And we know that California, once that begins, it gets crazy. But to put a sort of tie a bow in all of this, do you know that Dr. Oz has joined in on the fray of people like Nick Shirley uncovering fraud in Medicaid? Try this on for size. I have this video that was just posted by Dr. Oz, and I have no idea who the man is with him, but it's obviously somebody from the Trump administration.
Behind me is the Griggs Midway building. It looks like a factory because it was a factory, a linen factory. They made cloth back there. Converted to an office building. You'll notice all those little signs there, and there's tons of little businesses inside. Roughly 400 Medicaid businesses were started in the building behind me over the last several years.
400?
They generated about $380 million of billing that you, the taxpayer, were putting up. That means roughly each business had $1 million of billing. It's an industrial area. There's no reason that you have a mother bring her child. You can't imagine getting extra business support. An autistic child probably wouldn't want to come here. You hear the noise. It's just not a hospitable place. The question is, how is it possible 400 businesses billing almost $400 million were able to thrive here? What did the owner of the business, this building, think was happening inside? Why did no one in the state figure out this was a concern? And perplexingly to me, in a place of this nature, an industrial complex that people would not come to for child care or autism care or transportation support, how is it possible this could come up like an abscess in the heart of Minneapolis and nobody was watching?
So everybody knows. It is what's happening all around the country. We are finding out more and more all over the place that our money is being squandered and given to phony businesses, and usually to people who either don't belong here, just got here, or people they're supposed to be telling us every day, every other day, are the most vulnerable around us. Well, I've never seen a vulnerable person in a Mercedes-Benz. Have you?
I've never had a Mercedes-Benz, so I don't know.
I have. It's not everything you think.
No.
Listen,
you're right about that. I'm over here like a jackalope my entire life since 14, working legitimate, legal, tax-paying jobs where I have to fill out a 1040 or whatever. I got to fill out that stupid tax form. Every since I was 14 years old, I've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me all I had to do was start an NGO.
Or start some phony little... Apparently, like I said, there are so many people out there who will give you anything. Anything. And you know what? Look, I'm going to go once.
Is it too late?
No, of course.
Can we try now?
Way too late because I want no parts of that. Let me tell you this.
Never let me break the law.
Look...
Never let me commit fraud.
You know the part that makes it selective in all of this? It's so crazy, right? I'm going to bring up somebody, and if she's listening, she's probably going to be upset that I even mentioned her because she's going to think that I'm sort of shaming her. I have nothing against her. The courts will decide what her fate is. I've got no skin in this game. But the Gina Laurie case, right? Everybody, Mark in West Hartford, made all the deal about the fact that this woman was collecting ARPA money, right? Taxpayer dollars, federal taxpayer dollars. And he was under the assumption she was taking all that money and she was grifting taxpayers. Now, she was getting loans outside of that, and what those banks do with her, what the bank's going to do with her. Mm-hmm. If they sue her, they sue her. If they get their money, they get their money. If she ends up in jail because she didn't pay this distributor, that's going to be all on her. But when everyone was making a big deal about her, they were making a big deal about this girl was stealing all of this taxpayer dollars, and that was everybody was led to believe, and they paid all the attention to it. And she was probably, she was Cruella de Vil if you watched all the media coverage. And then here we are with Doug McCrory, and you've got every news outlet who pretty much took that woman and ran her through the woodshed.
An attractive woman.
Yeah, exactly.
A young, attractive woman.
They completely destroyed her name. Absolutely. And even whether or not she deserves it will play out in a trial, right? Or will play out in the courtrooms. But they were on her, dogged on her. Now you got Doug McCrory and everybody's walking around on tiptoes. Why? Because you can't bring up that black guy. Mm-mm. You can't bring up that black guy.
No, the black folks is off limits.
Yeah, it's again, and it's
attractive
sort of like,
women, different story.
And it's the same again. It's just, I'm sorry, I hate to use the word Somalian, but that's what it is. It's getting the Somalian treatment. You know what we used to say? Paul Mooney, famous comedian. I can't call him a friend. I'll call him an associate. I know Paul Mooney very well. Right? Well, knew him. He's passed now. Knew Paul Mooney very well. Cursed me out on the air one time. Yeah, cursed me out. I mean, on the air. And why? Because,
well-deserved.
I took him to task. I did. Mm-hmm. And, he's a big race baiter. He used to write for Richard Pryor. But he and I were associates. I wouldn't call us friends, as I said, never. Because I took him to woodshed. I said, you talk about a lot of racist stuff. And then I would chop it down to him. And he'd get mad at me. Instead of arguing with me, he'd get angry. He'd start cursing me out. But Paul Mooney used to use this term, and this is what used to get that sort of contention thing. He would always refer to white people as the complexion for the protection. Mm. That is a term that Paul Mooney coined. Mm. The complexion for the protection. And now it's reversed. Because that's what happened to Ilhan Omar, the Somalians in Minnesota, and of course, with Doug McCrory.
It's the cycle of oppression. That is an actual, there is documented history of this happening for centuries in every civilization, that there is a cycle of oppression. The oppressed are released from oppression, and then they become the oppressors.
Exactly. And it's so true, because it tells one thing about mankind. It has nothing to do with your right. No, but it has nothing to do with your color. It has nothing to do with your station. Is that given the power, would you wield it fairly? Would you, if given the power? Because that's the impression we have to say. We need to change the balance of power, because we, the nobler people.
The oppressed are far more noble.
Far more noble.
And better equipped to handle kindness.
Given the opportunity, we would never be the oppressive types that they are. And then, sure enough, you give them the power, and naturally they do the exact opposite. They took all the stuff that they said that they would be. If we were in charge, we would be fair-handed, and we would think everybody get the opportunity. And sure enough, what happens? What is critical race theory? What's the whole deal with critical race theory? It's not about equal rules. It's about changing the rules for a group of people. You're not supposed to punish a black guy when he commits a crime, because you know what? All of the years of oppression of people who have shared his skin color. So in essence, when I ask them, and I say it all the time, do you want preferential treatment? Well, that's not what we're saying. Well, isn't that exactly what you're saying? If you're saying that we have to treat you a certain way, if I have to talk to you based upon your race, what did we say in HR? In HR departments, don't ask a black guy about the basketball game. Why? Because he's special.
But he watched it.
But he's wearing a jersey.
You were at his house watching it with him, eating bone-in chicken wings, boneless wings.
Don't ask an Asian about math. Wait a minute. I cheated off that kid.
God, oh my God.
But that's the whole point is that that's the stuff I'm talking about. Just tell the truth. You want special treatment. And that's why I came up with a great idea. Okay? If you are black, if you are brown, if you are anything other than white, and you wanted to be treated differently, and you believe that you should be treated based upon those things, if you're a woman, if you're transgender, I want you to identify as special needs. What? What's wrong? Why not? That's what that is. What? Is that not right?
No, but then, you know what? You bring up a good point because they can't advocate for themselves. They need white people to do it.
Clearly.
They can't speak for themselves. They need white people. They can't afford their own food. They need white people to pay for it. They can't get their own education. White people need to do it. Can't get their own transportation. White people. You're right. They are dependent
How are you not? That's
the
pure definition of special needs.
You know what? I love you so much. I'm not sure we're allowed to say these things.
No, it is. Look.
No, we're going to get canceled. You know how black people don't like being
How
stereotyped.
is it not? Listen, this is not. Look,
women don't like being stereotyped.
First of all, specially abled is not what I'm talking about because clearly, guess what are they saying about specially abled people? They're saying especially abled people can do the things that other people can do. That's the whole point. So a special needs person is that I have to talk to you or behave a certain way around you because you are special.
My needs are unique.
Yes, my needs are unique.
Different from, what did you call them?
What? Special needs?
The other one, especially
abled.
Special abled.
Yes.
Okay. No, there's definitely a distinction there because, like, a child would be special needs because the child depends on somebody else for all their care.
That would be fair.
Right? And that's the nanny state.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm just saying, how is it
coming full circle?
It should be, and you know what? There should be a handicap placard that you can put on your car. Why not? Why not? If we're not supposed to address these things, why wouldn't we? We should have a
How do we identify the difference? Like,
we ask them themselves. No, they can tell us.
Like, does a woman get a pink?
No. If you were to hold on, if you went to go get,
I'm a Latina. Do I get like a pink and brown?
If you were disabled, you would go to the Department of Motor Vehicles and you would get a special placard to explain to them
it's
that
blue,
you are.
It's
blue.
Got
It's got a wheelchair on it. Exactly.
Right.
But you would be right. You would be the decider through your doctor. Right? Then you would say, I'm handicapped. I'd like a handicap placard. It would go through your doctor and you would get it. If you're a special needs person, you would be self-determined. I'm black.
It's like AA, right?
Yes, exactly. I was saying, look, I'm black. And, I think I need to be treated a certain way because of my skin color, because of my years of oppression.
Now I'm trying to figure out, how does a transgender car, like, how do you get a
everybody gets the same
needs
thing. And then when someone asks you, it's like, hey, you're handicapped? It's like, yes, I'm black. Technically, that's what they're saying. How are they not?
So I'm a woman and I'm a Latina, but I'm Native American.
You get 3 placards.
Wow. If I just, like, put them on my windshield, like, how am I supposed to drive? I can't see through all those placards. Oh, man. Specialized cars.
Don't be mad at me, folks. Don't be mad. Everything I just laid out has nothing to do with me. You could call me crazy, but that's the whole point with this thing with Doug McCrory. I'm making a broader point with a little bit of tongue in cheek. But think about it, folks.
It is very, very satirical. All of that was very satirical. And dare I say, my liberal side is still there. I'm deeply offended by the conversation I just had with you, by my own conversation. But when you think about it, in essence, it's exactly it. Everybody needs to. Hi, my name is Janisha, and I am LGB LMNOP. I identify as we and us, and my hair is purple. I'm a cat. Okay, what the hell do I call you? What, like the level of mental instability.
Yeah.
In meeting one person, but that's how like people introduce you now. My name is such and such, and I'm gay. I already told you how I want to start introducing myself, but I can't say those words on the radio.
No, you cannot.
One of those 7 words banned on the radio.
Yes, it's one of those.
I'll try. I'm Rozan, and I exclusively entertain only African American men. I mean, if that's how we identify ourselves now, right? We have to make sure that everybody knows who we prefer to sleep with.
I'm just saying. Let's take another break before we wrap this puppy up on this Friday. Let's get to Mark Christopher. He's at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
So I'm not buying Rozan a drink anytime soon.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
Actually, I wanted to make sure that before we got out of here, I mentioned, Harry Enton of CNN.
Yeah.
And I said that he has this weird thing about when he posts something about Democrats versus Republicans. And when he has something horrible to say about Donald Trump, he posts it on his X account. But he never posts stuff that, about Democrats, and it shows that they're doing very, very poor. This was a perfect example of that because, as you know, Rozan, because you've been very, you, of course, participate in this show, and you always sort of are engaged in politics now more than ever. You know that a lot of this stuff that's been going on in the last year, everything from liberal outrage about everything from Doge to Tesla, burning, Tesla's down.
Want to be mad.
No Kings protest and
too
all the
sunny,
stuff.
Too cloudy.
Killing of Charlie Kirk to violence everywhere. And so as all of this is happening, that I've always said, it's like, well, what is this? What rewards is this reaping for Democrats at all? And again, it's important that people know. It's like, we're going to win the midterms. They're so excited about it. But then you hear stories like this, which, again, Harry Enton won't post on his X page. And it's not that he doesn't do the report on CNN, but no one's watching that.
Right.
All of their videos go viral online, and he knows that. So that's why he didn't post this.
Take a look at how Democrats who disapprove of congressional Democratic leaders, we're talking about 57% in January of 2026, the second highest disapproval rate for Democratic leaders from their own party on record. It's only beat by what we saw earlier on in this Congress when it was 61%. There's basically been no improvement. Democrats hate their own congressional leaders. These numbers are awful, awful, awful.
Wow.
Now, again, and this is the most important part. In order for you to win elections, the people have to like you.
Right.
Right? They have to be motivated to vote for you. It is a popularity contest. So if you you think they're just going to vote for has actually had no effect whatsoever, what's the only thing that they're going to run on? They're only going to run on indicting Donald Trump. They have absolutely no plans, no legislation, nothing else. It is going to be, and again, for a bunch of people who were so concerned about Trump getting into office because of the retribution, now what are they going to do if indeed they do win the midterms? They're going to do exactly the thing that they have accused Donald Trump of doing in the last year, get their retribution. So I don't think they've got a winnable argument here at all. I don't think that they don't have anybody to at least lead them. I mean, who the hell is leading them?
I think this is a good opportunity to stop and look at what laws and or policies has AOC put forth.
None.
And passed.
None.
Bernie Sanders.
None.
Jasmine Crockett-Spit.
None.
Gavin Newsom.
Well, he's governor, so the only thing he's ever done is cost the state money and not build the house.
Right.
Since the fires.
Kamala Harris.
Don't even start.
What about any other members of the squad?
I can't think of one. Yep, there we are. Anyway, we'll come back. More news, more views. We'll get your phone calls and wrap this puppy up for the Snowmageddon this weekend. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, Rozan, you are about to leave tomorrow. You want to say goodbye to everybody and tell them that you'll see them next, it'll be like 2 Fridays, but the next time. Well, you probably come here before then, but.
Sure, I will see you guys soon.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're going, it's not like I know, you're not going to space.
Say goodbye to you. That's
no, you don't have to, you say that to me later. I just wanted you to say goodbye to the folks. They're going to miss you. You know how much they care about you. You know how much they love you.
All 7 of the people who
Stop
like me.
saying, don't sell yourself short.
Right,
you know,
there's like 14, at least 14 people.
A lot of people.
Don't do that. I can't handle it. No.
I told you I can't either.
There's like 7 whole people.
You want to keep it simple in your head, right?
Listen, I can't. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm actually going to miss it. This is probably I didn't know I was going to enjoy being on the radio. I didn't know I was going to enjoy talking to you. I knew I enjoyed talking to you, but on the radio. And
you didn't know it was going to be like in this,
right.
in this kind of format.
I didn't know that I was really going to enjoy this so much, yeah.
To be honest with you, I really do want this for you. So I hope I'm not sort of forcing you to like it as much. You know how I feel about radio. You know how I feel about this medium. So I am in love with it. It is, I breathe it. It's in my blood. I hope you get to understand the love affair I have with it. I hope you get it as well.
I can't believe how much I want to be. I want to be here with you every single day, but it's called Reese on the radio. So I have to remember.
But this is a good opportunity. Only reason why I said it is that this is a good opportunity for you because if indeed you do decide to do this, no matter where it is, if it's not here, it's anywhere else in the world, you have this experience now that you now have a resume. In essence, you could put this together as a resume and you have a sound check.
Right. Well, you'd have to do it
an
for
air
me
check. I'm
I
sorry.
don't know how.
An air check. I'm sorry. You have an air check that people can go to and say they can really get to know what you sound like on the air. And if you wish to pursue it, of course I'll help you do it. But
I love doing it. It's. I see how much work you put into it and the little bit of effort that I put into it and how much fun it is. One of my favorite things to do is research and take notes and learn. And, there's so much fun. It's just a lot of fun. And how does this work?
It's great. I'll tell you this, but the angle that you have in this that's different from mine, because everyone's approach to this medium is different. But what I like about your approach, and I can watch you when you do it, is how dogged you are on the research and then how eager you are to convey. You really want to share what you've learned.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I've always said about this thing that sucks is the idea that people who get all of that information and then, it's like, let me tell you what I've learned.
Talk at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You are sharing that and saying that there's this and there's that. And because that can come off as pretentious and off-putting and people don't want to do that.
I've never been accused of those things ever in my life. Not never.
So I think the way that you do it, I enjoy it. Anyway, let me get to some phone calls here. Some people have been on the line for a while. Let's get to some new people first, and then we'll get to some of the regular guys. Let's try Phil, who's calling from Southington. Hello, Phil.
How you doing, Reese? Hey, before Rozan goes, I need to know something. I've got a burning question.
Okay.
Sure. Am I number 8 or am I number 15?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, she said there's either 7 or 14 people.
I think you are 6. Yeah, number 6.
What do you got, Phil?
Again, you got to blame Rozan for this phone call.
Okay.
Because earlier I had to go into my doctor's office after going there for years and fill out this stupid thing on a laptop that asked me for my pronouns.
Oh, my goodness.
So I says, I identify as the King of Southington. You may refer to me as your Royal Highness, my liege, or sire.
Yes. Yes. That's right.
And the other thing she brought up was the governor of California.
Oh,
I don't know if you folks are young enough to remember the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
I
remember Jay Leno.
I'm a Johnny Carson guy.
Okay. The band leader, Doc Severinsen.
Yes.
His little milquetoast stand-in, who was the butt of Johnny's jokes, was who?
I don't know.
Tommy Newsom.
It was Tommy. You're right. Tommy Newsom. That's right. When Doc was off. Yep. Please don't tell me.
And I wonder if he's the illegitimate or the the governor is the illegitimate offspring.
Oh, now I've got to find that out.
Find out.
Yes, Tony Newsom. You are so right. Because Tommy Newsom. Sorry, Tommy Newsom. And I remember that the part that drives me wild is that whenever I said, "That's right. Why wouldn't Doc Severinsen take a week off?" It's like he was just such a part of that show.
Carson would take 6 months off.
Yeah, exactly. It's very true. Oh, that's such a good point. Thank you.
I'll let you get to the next call.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
He is, but isn't Gavin Newsom like the nephew of Nancy Pelosi?
Through marriage.
Right.
Through marriage. Let's go to Lisa in Cheshire. Hello. Oh, no, wrong place. Oh, yeah, I got Lisa. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi.
Hello.
Good. How are you? I have a comment that I've been meaning to say.
Yes, ma'am.
Since Rozan has been there. She has first of all, I've been married for 40 years. So I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Anyway, she has an angelic voice. She has a sexy voice, a cute voice at times, and I love her laugh.
Thank you.
I don't know. It's just something about her, and she's very pleasant. So.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I've been meaning to tell you. Now I guess is the perfect time because I got in my car after going to the store. It's a madhouse. Don't go. But, yeah. I've been meaning to tell you for a long time. And you know what? I like your voice, too.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm the one you've got to suffer through. So I bring her here. I bring her here to counter that. So I'm glad to appease you. People have said that about your laugh all the time. They love.
It's crazy.
Well, you know what? It makes me feel good because I make you laugh a lot.
You too. You do.
Yes, and that's so good. That's so cool. Definitely.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you so much.
I do with my husband too. So it's good you guys have good.
Lisa, can I ask you this outside of that because there's a great point that you're saying there.
Absolutely.
Do you consider it an achievement when you make your husband laugh? Because Rozan says that when she makes me laugh, she considers that an achievement.
He's always laughing at me because I do stupid things. So. Yeah,
okay.
I consider it a daily thing, but it's a genuine laugh, and we still, get together and stuff. We have fun.
That's good.
We're homebodies with dogs, so we have fun.
Perfect.
I'm glad you sound like the same.
Thank you. You're absolutely right.
All right.
Tell your husband have a great weekend. You guys be safe out there, okay?
I will. You too. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Ray is in West Hartford. Let's go to him. How are you, sir?
I am absolutely fantastic. But here's the deal. We got a twofer. We got you, and we got her.
Yeah?
And that makes for a very successful program. I see her going on to great things. She is probably going to become a star. She's a female. She's non-white, if you will.
Uh-huh.
She's, I guess, happy. I think there's going to be a future for her, for sure.
I really, really do.
It might become the Reese and Rozan show as time goes along, or it might become the Rozan and the Reese show as time goes along.
There's a likelihood. A friend of ours told us in California, because my logo is R&R, with the microphone.
Right.
And here it is, we get together, and sure enough, when the first time someone had ever seen the logo, they went, "Oh, that's so cute. Is that for Reese and Rozan?" And we looked at each other and went, we never thought of that, but now it's kind of becoming a thing. Yeah. Thank you so much for that, man. I appreciate you, Ray.
I'm going to enjoy this coming weekend because it's going to be not like Texas. It's going to be like New England.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I am.
It'll be fun. It's always the same thing. When people from other states move in here, they say, "Oh,
we'll bunch you out." Thank you, Busman. I appreciate you.
All right.
You got it. Let's go. Tom is in Thomaston. How are you, Tom?
Hey, I'm well, Reese. Rozan's okay. I mean, come on.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Sincerely.
You're welcome.
Knock me down a peg or two.
Congratulations on the boy getting into the Citadel.
Thank you. He's awesome. Kind of like him.
Yeah. I'm wondering, should the caller start a GoFundMe? I know that not an out-of-state tuition there.
I am so not opposed to that. I'm totally not opposed to that.
When she told me that it was going to cost...
My half is $2,200 a month. His father's got the other half.
It's another rent.
Yeah.
That's another rent.
If you want... good luck to him. Good luck to him.
Thank you.
I think he'll be fine.
Hey, Reese.
Yes,
Reese,
sir.
I'm really disappointed with the state of Connecticut and this about the supposed theft. We'll see where it leads.
Yeah.
But Governor Walz and the Democratic apparatus in Minnesota, they're able to funnel billions and billions to crooks in their state.
Yeah.
And Somalia.
Governor Malloy and the Democratic apparatus, they could only get out $10 million. Come on. They're making us look bad, Reese.
You know what? That is such a great, listen to me. That is such, that's like, it's, you know what? Here's what you're pointing out, and I think it's perfect. This state is so inept, it can't even get its corruption right.
Exactly. It's embarrassing, Reese. I'm telling you.
That's such a great point, and I'm so glad you brought it up. Because, you know what? Because I'll put it to you this way. If it turns out to be much more money than what McCrory took, because then we can sit back and go, there you go, Connecticut. Way to work your way up. You're just as horrible as Tim Walz.
You gotta laugh, Reese, because I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're probably talking hundreds of billions of dollars states have taken.
Absolutely. Look, the corruption, there is no doubt in my mind that everybody's got a hand in it, especially now that we know that these NGOs were right here in the state. Those 5 NGOs were pulling in tens of millions of dollars. And again, we don't have we've got no considerable amount of illegals in the state that have gained any legal status since then. 4,000 in 4 years. And they're literally doubling on top of each other as NGOs. We have 2 NGOs in one area that are pulling in millions of dollars, and we got nobody getting legal status.
The first one that the federal government should look at is Bernie Sanders and getting $500 million to his wife, and she bankrupts the college.
Wow, yeah. Still doesn't make any Still doesn't make any sense. And that's what I said.
The first one.
That's right. That's what I said. I was like, you said all of this money that is going into these so-called NGOs or these so-called charity cases, and the place ends up going belly up makes no sense. They're getting free money. They don't even have to work for the money. They don't even have to earn a profit. They're getting money poured into them, and they still fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll tell you why. Because it's literally being siphoned off. Putting money into these places is just like putting it into a funnel. That's all. It goes in and it goes out.
Enjoy the storm, Ray.
Thank you, man. I'll do my best. I will hunker down, and Tovala will be my meals. Thank you, buddy.
All right.
All right, we got to get up out of here. Frank, you know what, Frank, I'm going to give you a minute to tell me about investing in gold, or just say something nice about Rozan.
Oh, well, good luck to Rozan. I told you 3 weeks ago, silver was $66. Get a truck and back it up. It's 101. What did I say to you? I told you I didn't come to America to lose money.
I hear
Let
you.
me tell you this before I go.
Yes.
We made 20 years we lived in those black neighborhoods, and we never would have left if it wasn't for crack, because we were making so much money. We had the only store. We were the only ones selling liquor. We're the only ones lending money out. We were getting rich living with black people, so why would we leave?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Leroy said that you stole from that community.
No. Let me get there. You know why black people pay more money to go into the store, Rozan? Because there were no other stores.
That's right. Hey, when you corner the market, you corner the market. I got to get out of here, Frank. God bless you, man. Yeah, I mean, when you corner the market.
Like in Chicago. I mean,
you
got hair spots, you got liquor stores, you got check cashing. Every other, like those 3 things, every row in Chicago.
And people just like, they put them in our community. I was like, you could run them out of business, and you don't have to firebomb the place. All you have to do is not go in.
There?
Yeah, they just sit there and go, hey, we got no customers. Perhaps we should leave. That's all. That's all. It's like going to see R-rated films. They don't make any G-rated films right here. Yes, it's right there. Oh, yeah, we don't go to those. Those are corny.
I don't go to Walmart.
Nothing against them.
Nothing against Walmart. I don't go to Walmart. It's a choice.
You don't have to.
I don't go to, what's the other grocery store I never went into because I felt like I was going to get scabies?
Well, that's not say, because
okay,
we don't know who
say it.
I don't know who the heck there is.
There are places I refuse to go into and touch things because I don't know what sort of skin infection I'm going to collect from all the...
How do we get anywhere with you? Everything scares you.
I'm very bougie.
Is true.
I have standards and limits, and I refuse to ever go back. I've worked very hard.
You ought to be
get
fantastic on the commercial flight you take tomorrow.
I'm in first class.
As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. She is Rozan on the radio. Say goodnight, Rozan.
Good night, Rozan.
We will see you on Monday. Be safe out there. Do not get out in that chilly, cold snow. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Good night, sir. Happy weekend.
From Hollis, Queens to Texas, back into the winter weather here in Connecticut.
God bless him, man.
Seriously. Have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you.